Is anyone here at the live stream? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Can someone from the meeting speak? Uh, yeah. Can you hear the other person at the live stream? No, 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 not you. I'm asking on the chat, on live stream chat. Can you guys hear the other girl speak? Okay. Antakshi is saying yes. Okay, awesome. Okay. So we're just going to keep the live streaming thing minimized for now. Okay, guys, at the live stream, you can always post your questions. But since this is like a workshop here with everyone else, I'm going to focus on that first. And in between, I will come back and look at the questions, okay? And I will respond to them. Okay, so I'm going to minimize the live stream now, but you can still see whatever we are talking about on my screen. Good. That is out now. I will get back to you guys. Hi, I'm admitting everyone. I see some new faces. Venzia Sally, hi. Did you also mail me? I don't think I've seen an email with your name. Okay, ठीक है. Guys, you can just call me Anjali. You don't have to ma'am me, okay? I'm just maybe a few years older, or maybe not. Okay. What about Driti? Did you also mail me? I don't think I've seen an email with your name. Has it come from some other? Uh, Acha, Amlani. Okay. Uh, Weird. I don't see it. Mm. Okay, never mind. Must be there. Okay. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm just setting up my iPad as well. I'm doing this live stream for the first time. So, yeah. Mm. Okay, so Takshi is here. Mm. Okay, you can see my screen also, right? Okay, and how do I bring this to? Acha, for that, I'll have to bring this here so that live stream folks can also see it. Okay. And next thing I need to open is the question papers that you have shared. Hmm, all are here. By the way, thank you for participating in such huge numbers. This is awesome. I'm glad I opened it for like everyone who has done the question papers. So how does it feel like previously जैसे जिन लोगों ने अभी recently question paper solve करे हैं can someone, by the way, no one is turning on their videos, is it because it's on live stream? This will go down in history. Hi Avni. Years down the line people are going to go back and be like अरे her. uh, wow, I feel so out. I feel so old figuring this out. Anyway, I think I'm almost done. I think I will just. So, anyone wants to talk about how do they feel with the, like, with doing the papers before you attempted them, after you attempt them? Do you feel confident? Do you feel lost? Can you give me some idea? Hmm. Anyone else? Okay, awesome. So, I'm also going to share this here with everyone. So, wow, my screen is getting like really crowded now. Hmm. So these are all the papers I received. Like I said, it's, I mean, कुछ लोगों ने अपने नाम भी लिखे हैं, but uh, I don't really care किसने कौन सा paper किया है. I generally want to, go through all the papers in this session. Not all the papers we won't be able to go through, but अभी एक्चुअली पिछले कुछ टाइम से ना जब मैं अपने टॉपमेट पे भी वन वंस कर रही हूँ, आई हैड अ वेरी गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ हाउ पीपल solve the papers and मतलब what are the common things that they do, है ना, what are the common mistakes they make and what are the common answers they give. A lot of times creativity वाले question में सेम ही आंसर करते हैं, किस किसने माउस बनाया था उसमें, उस क्वेश्चन में, um, तुम में से. By the way, it would be really nice if we can make this session a little bit more interactive. We are just what, 10 people, excluding me, nine of us. So you guys can literally turn on your mics if you want. Turn on your mics. Yes, turn your mics on. And you can also turn on your videos. It'll be just nicer to see everyone and, you know, make this a interactive session. Otherwise, I could have just done that on like YouTube live or something. Anyway, um, okay. So yeah, I've seen a lot of these common things. Okay, people doing. Hi, Sally, Venezia Sally. Thank you for turning on your video. Oh, you okay? Your name is Anya, but you've okay. Okay, cool. Um, Yeah, so about the question paper. So a lot of people do the same things. Okay, so I thought maybe I'll do one workshop. I'll invite solve papers, and we can talk about what are some common things that people do, how you can avoid them, and also specifically with part A, how to attempt those papers. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can always raise your hand. Can you raise your hand on Meet? I think you can. So just raise your hand. I'll just call your name and Did someone try to join the meeting? No. Okay. Yeah, just raise your hand and then you can just speak. Okay, let's not type. Uh, People on live can type, but people on meet just unmute and speak. Okay, so फर्स्टली आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट जो पार्ट ए का क्वेश्चन पेपर है ना, ठीक है, जो तुम उसको सॉल्व करते हो, तो अभी लेट्स लुक एट अ फ्यू पेपर्स. यू कैन सी माय स्क्रीन राइट? सो इज इट अ यस? Oh, you're not able to see this. Okay, ठीक है, then I have to like a blank canvas. Okay, thanks. Let me. Okay, that means I can only share one thing at a time. Okay, that's also okay. ठीक है. So I'll share this entire screen with you. But does that change anything on YouTube Live? Not a lot. Okay, now can you see my screen? Okay. So अब देखो mostly अब let's look at a few papers how people have done part A के papers. ठीक है. तो I like how this person has done it. उन्होंने यहाँ पे जो जो लिखा है उसको 1 2 3 लिखा है, जहाँ जहाँ पे उन्होंने फिर उसको खुद को स्कोर भी दिया है, थोड़ा सा अपना आइडिया लगाया है कि मेरे इतने स्कोर्स आ रहे हैं. ठीक है. देन लुक एट द सेम पर्सन, सेम अप्रोच, दे हैव डन द सेम थिंग. ओके, हु इज दिस? ओके, कोई बात नहीं, लेट्स मूव ऑन, लेट्स सी दिस. समवन हैज डन द सेम थिंग हियर. 1 2 3. क्या ये? एक मिनट, ये किसका पेपर? 1 का 3 कैसे? इज दिस नैट? बट देन आगे तुमने एबीसी की जगह 1 2 3 4 क्यों किया है? ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. ओके, समवन हैज एक्चुअली सॉल्व एवरीथिंग एंड देन आपने बट यहाँ पे खुद को मार्किंग दिया है. खुद को मार्किंग, जिसमें मार्किंग नहीं दिया है, ठीक है. रियली लाइक हर हैंड राइटिंग. आई लाइक हाउ शी इज मेड इट वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड. उसके बाद यहाँ पे भी आई थिंक इज इट आई थिंक इट्स द सेम पर्सन. ठीक है. यहाँ पे भी मार्किंग नहीं किया है, बस सॉल्व किया है. ठीक है. ये वाला पेपर है, इसमें भी सेम अप्रोच. टक 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 1 2 3 ABC, 1 2 3 ABC. ठीक है. ओके. ये किसी ने पार्ट बी भी पेज बढ़ाते हुए अ, वहीं पे कर दिया है. ठीक है. यहाँ पे भी सेम किया हुआ है. यहाँ पे इसे क्रॉस करके असली आंसर लिख दिया हुआ है. ठीक है. ठीक है. आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव but now I will go to my iPad and I will do draw. So now you can see my iPad. It just went, no? It's not there anymore. Okay, now you can see my Procreate screen. Right? Okay, awesome. Okay, now I just want to talk a little bit about how I used to prepare. Okay, it would be really cool if you guys can tell me if there are any other better ways you have used to solve part A. Um, मैं जब भी प्रिपेयर करती थी ना, मुझे ऐसे बाय द वे आई वुड लव फॉर यू गाइस टू आंसर इट. एनीवन कैन आल्सो आंसर इट. विश्वजीत, योर वीडियो इज ऑन. वुड यू बी हैप्पी टॉकिंग टू मी about your approach, how you do it? Would you be cat paper? Matlab, tell me what does that mean? That's okay. Okay. हाँ बताओ. हाँ बताओ. हाँ. हम्म. ठीक है, मतलब तुम्हें जो एनएटी वाले क्वेश्चंस हैं, यू लाइक दोज बेटर. ठीक है. What about anyone else wants to talk about how they prepare for this, या फिर कैसे, मतलब क्या अच्छा लगता है, क्या नहीं लगता है, कहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम होती है? अवनी? ओके. हम्म. ओके. What about Satakshi? क्या प्रॉब्लम आता है? हम्म. हम्म. ठीक है. सी व्हेनेवर आई प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दिस, या फिर अभी भी जब मैं क्वेश्चन पेपर देखती हूँ ना, जो आगे 2020 के आगे वाले, इट्स गुड थिंग दैट आप सबने क्वेश्चन पेपर सॉल्व किया. आप सबने पार्ट ए सॉल्व करके दिया. सम पीपल हैव ओनली गिवन पार्ट बी का कोई एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करके. हैव मोस्ट. हाँ, बट यू हैवंट सॉल्व पार्ट ए. हाँ, तो देखो ये एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है, बिकॉज़ I have been talking to people who prepare for these exams for the past 3 years. Okay, actually more than that, but पिछले 3 साल से लोग पेपर दे रहे हैं. पेपर दे के आ रहे हैं. 1 मिनट. पार्टिसिपेंट्स की आवाज़ नहीं आ रही है. आई एम सॉरी, अब मेरी आवाज़ सुन लो, डील विद इट. अभी मैं आई डोंट नो हाउ टू ट्रबल शूट दिस गाइस. ओके, लेट मी फोकस हियर. बहुत सारे लोग पार्ट बी की इतनी तैयारी कर लेते हैं, इंटरव्यू पोर्टफोलियो की इतनी तैयारी कर लेते हैं ना, कि उनका पार्ट ए क्लियर ही नहीं होता है. ठीक है. तो एनीवन हु हैज जस्ट डन पार्ट बी, बहुत एंड अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल ना, तो वो ऐसे एकदम सिलेक्टिव प्रिपरेशन करते हैं. या तो वो एकदम पार्ट बी ही करते जाएंगे, या तो वो एकदम पार्ट ए ही करते जाएंगे, एंड वन ऑफ द अदर टू वो नहीं करेंगे. तो इसीलिए अभी इज द टाइम. टुडे इज 3 December. एग्जाम इज इन जनवरी, if I'm not wrong. Is that correct? Yeah. So yeah, so we don't have a lot of time. Okay, we have to start now. Um, a lot of times, every time I've said solve previous year question papers, previous year करो. अभी आप लोगों ने कर लिया है. How many of you feel super confident कि आप अगर part A आएगा तो मैं उसको एकदम crack कर लूँगी? Okay, Sangvi doesn't understand Hindi. Okay. How many of you are perfectly confident now after solving the previous year question papers that okay, now I can crack part A completely? Sangvi? Okay. What about other people? Uh, Avni, you've raised your hand. Okay. Anyone here who's not so confident about party? Yeah. But then that's also cut off. Okay, I get your worry that the cut. You're afraid that cut off बहुत ज़्यादा चली जाएगी because now there's partial marking. The good thing is that at least you are aware about these things. But see, that partial marking अगर ज़्यादा जाएगी, then the possibility of you scoring more will also increase, right? So right now, I don't want you to focus on all those things. I just want you to focus on how to prepare for this exam better, because eventually what is the cutoff, कितने marks आएंगे, all that no one knows. So let me quickly go through like what are the some things that I do, and especially for people also who are sitting in live. This is the difference that I see between people who solve papers and who don't solve papers. People who don't solve papers, they're like, I don't know where to start. But people who solve papers, they ask crisp questions like you guys are asking. So that is a actually that's a very good thing, that at least you know about the stuff. So a lot of people also ask, bhai, what should be my study material? One of the first things you should study is the brochure of the exam, and that's where you learn about uh, marking kya hai. Like Namya very correctly said, I don't know how many people know that this time the marking wala pattern has changed, and there is going to be partial marking in multiple select questions. So just very quickly, I want to go through this. I'm sure most of you already know this, but I hope it doesn't hurt to repeat things. Uh, Going forward, अभी जैसे आप लोगों ने दो तीन पेपर सॉल्व किए हैं, going forward I will encourage you to solve even more papers. There is a thing that I do, okay? मैंने इसको तीन सेक्शन में डिवाइड करती हूँ. Section one is analyze, section two is prepare, and section three is strategize. Okay, this thing I just came up with while talking to one of the persons. Well, where I was trying to explain why solving previous question papers are important. So you see, NAT में 8 questions होते हैं, MSQ में जितने भी questions होते हैं, total MCQ में जितने भी questions होते हैं. It is very important for you to first start solving all the papers and then analyze what your strengths and weaknesses are. Like Sangvi correctly mentioned that she knows what her strengths and weaknesses are, right? Also, let me know if you guys want to know about this, because I feel like you guys have already done it. Um, is there any specific thing I should focus on, or is it okay if I talk about like how to prepare from part A question papers? Just, I yeah. Are you sure? Everyone else, or do you want me to talk about like something very specific? Do you have any specific questions? Okay, briefly. हाँ, ठीक है. तो ठीक है. Anyone else has anything to say? Or they're good? So tips and tricks. देखो मुझे लगता है ना these sorry हिंदी comes in between, but मुझे लगता है that all these tips and tricks are very subjective. Someone who is like it's very different for everyone, and that's why I like to do one-to-one sessions, because then you can really get to know the person, what they need specifically. But For part B, creative questions also discuss. Okay, I'll come to that, Vishnuji. But there is like a general thing I want to talk about first, but let me know if there's anything specific you would want me to talk about also. Okay. Uh, abhi, because there are a lot of people, it's getting difficult for me also to focus कि मैं किस चीज़ के बारे में बात करूँ. There's a general pattern I've seen कि सबने ऐसे ऐसे करके किया है. वन का ए, टू का बी, थ्री का सी, ऐसे ऐसे करके पेपर सॉल्व किया है. एट मैक्स किसी ने खुद को नंबर दे दिए हैं. ठीक है. What I like to do is whenever I'm preparing, I like to have a sheet. Whenever I was preparing, I used to like to have a sheet where I will just not only do that, but I'll also add a few more things. जैसे कि obviously my answers, but I will also, oops, what am I doing? I will also मेंशन कि मुझे किस क्वेश्चन को कितना टाइम लगा है करने में. ठीक है, दैट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द थिंग्स आई कंटिन्यूसली डू. You have around 48 questions if I'm not wrong, and then you have around 60 minutes to do those questions. And whenever such math comes now, I always make it simple and give myself 20 minutes, sorry, 12 minutes buffer here. So that means I only have 48 minutes to do 48 questions, which means I have 1 minute to do one question. So I'm not saying that you sit and do, "Ki, acha, this will take 15 seconds, this took me 27 seconds." No. But I'm saying that when you're preparing, basically, ठीक है, अभी जब तुम, right now, when you're solving the papers, have an estimate idea that, okay, this is taking me more than 60 seconds and this is taking me less than 60 seconds. A little bit of rough idea. Apart from that, also take a log of how much you're scoring. So if you're scoring 1 1 0 0 1 1, and you have kept a log of how much you're scoring. So if you're scoring more than, sorry, if you're taking more than, say, like 2 minutes in this question, you will get an idea of ki which questions are worth solving in the exam hall. Okay, it's not always about solving कि मुझे सब पेपर क्लियर करके आना पूरे 100 on 100. Sometimes it's, you also have to play smart and be like, maybe I don't want to waste my time here, because in the previous 10 years, with question papers, whatever I've solved, I've always gotten these kind of questions wrong. Now, this can be like count the number of sides, or maybe sometimes they give you these technical things also. No, कि uh, there is a car sort of a thing, and it has an ink का यहाँ पे point and it's rolling. So किस किस distance पे वो आएंगे. Sometimes I always used to get those wrong. मेरा वो कभी सही नहीं हुआ. And it always took me a lot of time to like understand the question, and it took me more than 2 3 minutes to even figure it out. And but there's also in one of the previous question paper, there's one question with the cycle thing, and they ask you to just find out the radius and stuff. So I know that I'm losing 1 mark here, and I will skip it. Okay, I will personally just be like, "Ki, this is taking more time." So my strategy always used to be anything that takes less time, and the probability of this being accurate is high, is I will like go to it, I'll do it. But a lot of times you will be in two situations. Okay, one where um, या तो क्वेश्चंस में ज़्यादा टाइम लग रहा है एंड एक्यूरेसी लो है, या तो क्वेश्चंस में कम टाइम लग रहा है एंड एक्यूरेसी लो है. एक्यूरेसी मोस्टली लो ही होती है. You will never be sure that, oh, I have done it 100% correctly, except for when you are. A few times you'll be like, okay, these I know I'm doing this correctly. So your accuracy will be high. So whenever you are in this situation, this is how I strategize. Okay, so now I was talking about the preparation. No, I'm talking about the analysis wala part. Preparation and strategizing, I think it sometimes it just goes hand in hand. So whenever you are in this situation for a question, it is going to take less time, and I know it is going to be accurate. Do that first, is what I followed, and I think you can also follow that. If you think it is going to take less time but the accuracy is low, uh, matlab, what I used to do is between MSQ, NAT, and everything. Firstly, I'll only solve questions this may time is less and accuracy is more. I was more confident with MCQs because you used to get a lot of art and culture related questions in that, है ना? So I would solve those first, and yeah, and I would always like do that first. Then I would go to MSQs and then I would go to NATs because I would always get NAT wrong. So ये जो time ज़्यादा लगना and accuracy low होना, this happened with me for the NAT section mostly. And MSQs was like, okay, so it might take less time, but the accuracy is also low. So yeah, so I mean, this is how I strategized. Is it syncing with you? Do you have any questions? Anyone here to say anything to add? Maybe Sandy. That is true. That is also true. But again, personally for me, NAT, well, there are some people who just get the NAT questions like correctly. I am very bad at maths. So even the simple calculations, I will like, okay, 49 will be the answer, but I'll do 40. Like I'm always very wrong. So my accuracy was like way, way, way low in NAT. So for me, like it was mostly about saving time. So I'm like, okay, I'll do NAT, but I'll do it in the end. I will see because eventually, when I'm done with everything that I could do, when I have time, I'll sit and see if I can get these things right. So this is how I would strategize for my exam. Talking about preparation, okay. So this is, but the strategizing also comes after you prepare. So this whole system can also change after you started preparing. Does anyone want to talk about what are some specific, how do they prepare after they analyze their paper, or like when you solve your paper, how do you strategize? Does anyone else want to talk? Maybe Supriya or Dhriti. Hmm. That that is a very good point, Supriya. One of the other benefits of solving question papers is that you get the idea about how the question papers have evolved over the years. I don't. How many of you have done like more than three papers by now? Anushka has done. Sangvi has done. Oh, everyone has done. We have like super dedicated folks here. Wow. Like I don't know what to tell you anymore. Like you guys already know everything. Awesome. So yeah, just going to reiterate this. The question papers have evolved, obviously, but one thing that remains the same is the ideology. So, for example, जैसे कि अगर तुम पार्ट बी में भी देखोगे, समटाइम्स दे आस्क यू दीज क्वेश्चंस अबाउट, जैसे पार्ट बी, द ओनली डिफरेंस आई फील दैट हैज कम इज in the pattern of the paper and the intensity of a question. For example, sometimes they will ask you to animation वाले section में to come up with um, some characters and a story and draw it and do everything. But now part B में they've simplified a little bit. They're like, okay, you just identify the problem, just do that. Okay, so that way the question papers have evolved definitely, but then I think it is also important to um, डू इट इज स्टिल इम्पोर्टेंट टू डू द प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन पेपर्स जो कि मतलब रीसेंट नहीं है, जो जैसे 2013 12 10 11 जब जितने भी मिल रहे हैं, एक बार उस सबको भी करना जरूरी है, सो दैट यू स्टार्ट फाइंडिंग दैट कॉमन पैटर्न्स, एंड व्हेन यू अटेम्प्ट पार्ट बी क्वेश्चंस यू विल रियलाइज दैट ओ, जैसे a lot of times you will see कि part B में कोई question आया and you don't know how to solve. For example, sometimes they'll ask you to um, you know design something for a specific user persona. If you've done papers from 2010, 2012, 11, 13, which were even more rigorous, जो काफी ज़्यादा intense होते थे, you will get an idea of what they're expecting you to do. People who have done those papers before, do you think that is true? Does that hold true? Yeah. Dhriti, are you also here? What do you think? What do you think? Is that true? Okay, now I'm going to look at the. Tell me if you have anything specific to ask, any questions. Like, this is the time to talk about part A, because I think mostly you guys know this stuff, so I don't want to repeat it. But tell me if I'm missing anything. Otherwise, I want to go to part B directly. Yeah, just raise your hands so that you guys don't talk collectively. हाँ बोलो सांगी. Yeah, yeah, I know, but finish your thought, Sanvi. Okay. So, see, I think the best way to get rid of that anxiety is to solve papers and prepare. Matlab, I don't know why every answer to every question is just solve papers, but let me talk about how you can get a little bit more confidence. Okay. Mostly when you solve previous years, since you've already done it, you'll realize that a lot of these questions are repeat. Yeah, a lot of these questions are todo marodo fi. Previously they asked this, but now they're asking you this sort of a thing. Okay, but it's mostly the same. And also these questions, jitna I have understood, they're not coming from heaven. They are basically coming from somewhere. Okay, so whenever you get anxious about some question, even when you're preparing or when you get कि अरे यार this is so intimidating. I know there's so many people who just get intimidated by these questions and they don't even feel like solving because it's seed, because it's IIT ka exam. Just Google it. Like, can you tell me some question that you uh, any question that you think that okay, this is too intimidating, या फिर I don't know how to do it, just Google it once. You'll find at least five resources where people have either solved it and then they've given. There is a website called Topper. Once I was doing the same, I just Googled the question and then I saw there were some similar questions also they've given in the bottom for you to practice. So, like that, there are so many resources. Okay, so I'll tell you what the key to confidence is. The key to confidence is that instead of doing this, Okay, do this. What I mean by that is, इसको इतनी सी जगह मत दो पेपर को, इसको थोड़ा सा प्यार और इज्जत दो, एंड थोड़ी सी just focus on each question a little bit more. There, I don't know how many of you know about affinity mapping. Sanvi knows. Anyone else knows about affinity? Supriya knows. Anyone else? You don't know. That's okay. So there is this one exercise that I gave to one girl, okay, which she didn't do because I think it was a little bit heavy for her. But for someone who's like, I have all the energy, just tell me how to do it. I told her to take printouts of previous years, okay, part A, part B, part C, and uh, cut them each question. Cut each question. So this is question one, two, three, four, five. Cut each of these questions, and for each year, okay, you can also do this exercise mentally if you don't want to physically do this. And then put similar questions together in a stack. So just this is question number 2 from 2020 2013. This is question number 5 from 2010. These are all count the number of sides question. Okay. Like that, you can also do this mentally. Like I said, you don't have to actually cut paper here, but this is एक तरह से मतलब एफिनिटी मैपिंग मैपिंग एक चीज़ होती है यूजर यूएक्स में, user studies में, and this basically helps us combine similar ideas together. Okay, so you can also do it on Miro if you like, if you don't want to waste paper. Get an idea of what are the kind of questions that you get. Now, when you know that, yeah, just count the number of sides is like this, ये तो आना ही है. Then you can just Google more questions about. If you just type count the number of. I'm not doing it right now because I'm sharing my iPad. But if you just Google yourself, you'll see there are so many questions. And in fact, there are tutorials people have given on YouTube for such questions, because surprise surprise, these questions are not only coming in seed, they're coming in a lot of other exams as well. So a lot of the aptitude questions now, they overlap with a lot of other exams as well. So but the only effort that you have to put here is to specifically give that sort of attention to each question. Many of my videos have said you have to derive syllabus out of your question paper, right? So this is what I mean, that you have to derive syllabus from your question papers. This is your syllabus. This is your chapter one question. Yeah, triangles, and trust me, you have enough time. Today is 3rd December. January में तुम्हारा exam है. You have enough time to do this. So you literally have to eat one question for breakfast, one question for lunch. Just dig into it, do everything. एक और चीज होती है, जैसे पीपल हु आर नॉट फ्रॉम आर्ट्स बैकग्राउंड और कल्चर हिस्ट्री, ये सब उनको जिनको नहीं आता है, या फिर वो भी छोड़ो, मेरे को मेरा वो अच्छा पॉइंट है इसलिए मैं बार बार उसकी बात करती हूँ, लेकिन मेरा एक वीक पॉइंट था इंडस्ट्रियल समथिंग, जो भी प्रोसेसेस होती है इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोसेसेस, ओके. तो उसमें कोई क्वेश्चन आ जाता था कि ओके दिस इज अ स्पून, नाउ टेल अस व्हाट टेक्निक is used to create this spoon, and then have a b c d and have zero. I had zero knowledge about industrial processes. So I will, instead of just be like, oh wow, ये मैं कैसे करूँ, wow नहीं मतलब, oh my god, ये मैं कैसे करूँगी. um, I just Googled all the 4 things that they had given. Sometimes they'll give the process like 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step. So I will Google the entire thing. And not only this, I will also see, okay, there is a bottle sitting on my table right now. I'll also Google how a bottle is made, how a needle is made, how a hairpin is made, you know. So then I know that my this chapter is industrial processes, and I have to learn everything about industrial processes. Okay, this is step two. Step one is solving question paper, deriving what kind of chapters do I have to study. Second step is to read everything about it. And third step is to go back to these question papers and try to solve them again. ऐसा कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा ना, ऐसा कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा ना, you'll be like wow. मजा आ गया. um, yeah, you know what I used to do, I had a little bit more time, so I had like 5 7 8 months, and I used to solve the same papers again and again. So this month, in a 15 day or like a 1 7 day spree, I solved all 10 12 previous papers. Then I'll take the month to just casually, मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि आज ही बैठ के I'm going to figure out all the industrial processes. But if I'm visiting, if I'm going somewhere, if I'm in a shop, I'll see something, I'll be like, okay, maybe how is this made? So doing this kind of categorization, this categorization that we are doing chapter wise is very important in the initial stages, so that even if you're going to a wedding, even if you are going out to get sabzi, you can keep your eyes open for more ideas. And I'm sure you guys already know that most of these questions are coming from things that are around us. ऐसे कोई हवा में नहीं आता है कुछ. uh, they actually want you to be aware about the society and the lives of people. Design होता है ना, what is design, who is design for? It's for people. So it's important to observe people, it's important to know people, and you get that opportunity every day. It's part of the preparation, but you need to know what to focus on, and you can focus on those things by doing this categorization. Okay, so if you haven't already, I know you've solved the papers, you've submitted and everything, but if you haven't given these papers that kind of attention, please do that today and here on. Okay, and जल्दी जल्दी करना है, जल्दी जल्दी, ऐसे नहीं कि एक पेपर में एक हफ्ते में करूंगी टाइप. We don't have that kind of time. Do at least 3 papers in one day, part A ka, and that way you'll be able to cover all papers in 1 week. So if you're able to cover this, if you're able to derive that syllabus in a few days, you'll have more time to observe things and learn about it. And then after a week, go back and solve this again. Do that a couple of times, you will gain a lot of confidence, and then you won't feel anxious. Anxious पता है कब होता है बंदा? जब उनको लगता है यार ये मुझे देखा है, मुझे पता है, लेकिन मैं गलत कर दूंगी, मुझसे गलत हो जाएगा. Sorry, I'm saying it in Hindi again and again, but for you specifically, Sani, every time you, my goodness, my English is not that good. Um, you get anxious when, how do you translate this? You get anxious when you know that okay, I've seen this question, I know how to do it, but I might get the answer wrong. That's when you get anxious. So we have to gain that confidence by preparing. Okay, we have to get the confidence that I know this is correct because I've done it 7 times. And I know there are 1 2 3 4 ways of thinking about this. And I know in my preparation, in the times I've solved these papers, I've gotten these 3 ways wrong. Every time I've thought in this way about it, I've gotten it wrong. So it must be this way. Even processes matter, so it's not only about knowing the answer, it's also about how you approach a problem, especially in nat. That too happens, especially in nat. There will be specific questions and you'll be like that, okay, if I solve it this way. अभी जैसे कल ही I was doing it with someone, not कल, a few days back. This girl, she was also very anxious and everything. I'm like, you know what, this is so simple, I'll do it in front of you. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it was this question जिसमें uh, like ऐसे कुछ था, and there were some bricks inside, and then you have to find what are the number of bricks which are not there. Okay, you have to find the number of bricks which are not there to complete this. So I'm like, easy, I'll do it. So I was doing it, and I took like a few minutes to do it. Okay, I took like a minute or minute and a half, and eventually got the answer wrong. And then I went back. I'm like, अच्छा गलत हो गया मेरे सेशन में मेरा आंसर. So I checked the answer. I think it was 49 or something, or 50 something. I might have it here somewhere. Um, No, I might have it here. Okay, I have it somewhere. So one thing I had done extra, मतलब उसका जो आंसर था उससे मैंने एक ज्यादा कर दिया था. And I was like, okay, how did that go wrong? Where is it? Is it here? Um, Sorry, I can't find it anymore. But you trust me, right? I did that. Please trust me. Um, या सो मैंने उसका एक ज़्यादा कर दिया था. मतलब आई थिंक आंसर वाज 48 or something I did. So when I went back, I realized my mistake was happening only in this section. On the top, I counted a little extra. So I know next time that question comes, I know where to not make a mistake. I know I slip here. यहाँ पे मुझसे गलती होती है. If you do that 5 6 times, why will you not get confident? You just have to be very honest with your prep. Like you have to do this thing very honestly. Okay. What about Namya or Namya had a question? Anyone else wants to add anything, say anything? Satakshi had a question. Yes, tell me, Satakshi. That's a very good point, Satakshi. Thank you for bringing that up, firstly. Uh, See, I can't talk about all the mock papers because, yeah, I haven't seen them all, but being at a stage right now where um, so there is this coaching institute, okay, which approached me to take some classes. So I said I can't be a full-time faculty, but if you want, I will do a few guest lectures for you. Okay. I went there, I did few guest lectures. I don't want to talk about all that, but one thing was that they asked me to help them set their papers. Okay. So I'm like, what? How do you even set previous year papers? मतलब, what do you? मैं अपनी बात नहीं कर रही. I'm talking about the coaching institute. Someone who has never given these exams, who's never gone through the entire process, how can you tell other people to do it? It is better to first of all, yeah. So what they are doing is, and what I've noticed is the same thing. This thing they are going through all the previous question papers, they are creating chapters out of it, and then they're like, अच्छा इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन आता है, तो let me just go on the internet, get 15, count the number of sides, surfaces, and just take 5 15 question papers and tuck 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 random. I don't know how many of them are actually putting this kind of deep thought into which question is appropriate and which is not, किस सीक्वेंस में होना चाहिए, you know. So that's why I always say the best resources are your actual previous year question papers, because mock papers are will give you a thinking of um, someone who's running a business, but previous year question papers will give you a thinking of the professors and anyone who is basically, you know, actually setting those papers to get get good students. um, yes. Yeah. So this is why, you know, I encourage people doing this. वो भी यही कर रहे हैं. वो भी ऐसे chapters बना रहे हैं फिर उसको दे दे रहे हैं. But you know how will you benefit from doing this better? If you मतलब यहाँ पे you will know कि कहाँ पे focus करना है कहाँ पे नहीं. तो mindlessly वो नहीं करो, है ना? You will know कि अच्छा मुझे exactly यहाँ problem आती है. तो मैंने इसको ही करना है. मेरे को यहीं पे ध्यान देना है. Which you can't do if you uh, are doing the yeah, maybe you can then huh? Yeah, maybe then after that you can use it. वो भी है, जैसे a lot of people also ask coaching institute जाएं या ना जाएं या फिर अपने self study करें. So I say that if you need to know how to leverage the coaching institutes. If you're going for a crash course, if you're going to a coaching institute, you should have done all this work first. Only when you do this first and only when you know where you're good and where you're not good, you'll be able to leverage coaching institutes. जिस coaching institute में मैं गई थी guest lecture के लिए, it was they had called me almost a week before the exam. Okay, which is crazy. Like मैं ऐसा क्या मंत्र पढ़ा दूंगी एक week से पहले. So I told them, I asked them, have you solved previous years? They're like, no. None of the kids had solved previous years. And I'm like, so what are you doing in this coaching institute? So they're like, I don't know, हमारी classes होती हैं, हमारी GK की होती है, फिर हमारी इसकी होती है. So what they've done is, out of these chapters, they have created classes now. That okay, these 7 chapters we can combine in this class. ये हम इसमें कर सकते हैं. That is even worse because in between you're losing your own individuality. What your weaknesses and strengths are. So it's just way convenient to do this. So thanks, Satakshi, for bringing that up. Perfect question. Thank you for giving me that opportunity to talk about this. Vishwajit, tell me. Tell me. It's okay. Forget about the background news. Just tell me. बोल भी सकते हो. It's okay. Don't care. I don't. It's okay. आम्या. वो तो देखो. अब जैसे घर पे खाना बनाओगे तो रेस्टोरेंट का स्वाद तो नहीं आएगा. What I mean by that is कि अगर तुम सबवे जा रहे हो then you will always get the same taste. You know this is what I'm signing up for. But अगर घर पे बनाओगे you don't know. So that is the risk you take when you're preparing for some exam like this. I don't know why I gave that. uh, मैंने वो एग्जाम्पल क्यों दिया लेकिन ये तो रिस्क रहेगा. ठीक है. लेकिन वॉट यू कैन डू फ्रॉम योर एंड इज द सेम थिंग. अब मैं एक चीज़ बता दूँ, ये मैंने खुद नोटिस करी थी व्हेन आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग एंड आई थिंक आई हैव स्पोकन अबाउट इट इन वन ऑफ माय वीडियोस आल्सो. जब भी वो लोगो वाले क्वेश्चंस आते हैं ना, तो जब भी ये लोगो आए तुम मतलब पहले तो तुम if you look at all the previous years, you'll see a pattern in previous in the kind of questions they ask when they ask you to recognize logos. Can anyone talk about which one? Mother, what is the pattern? Has anyone noticed? Okay, what else? Sorry, what? Okay, what else? What kind of logos? Anyone in government initiatives or projects or ठीक है. अभी तो मैंने ऑन द स्पॉट पूछ लिया बट आई एम श्योर यू दिस लिस्ट कैन गो लॉन्गर. So that's all you have to do. Look at all automobile logos. Look at all finance logos. Look at all government institute logos. Look at all government project logos. कुछ तो आएगा इसमें से. अगर आया तो जब मैंने देखा सारे गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट वाले हैं. एक आया था वो डिजाइन रिलेटेड भी आता है कई बार. गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स विद डिजाइन. So this I've told every year. No, Pratik, I'm not talking to a wall. I'm talking to people, but I think for some reason you're not able to hear that. But it's okay if you just focus on what I'm saying, it might help you as well. So, yeah. Basically, I asked them ki what kind of logo questions are asked. So, they're telling me that automobile finance, these kind of logos are basically, from these areas. So, especially for this one, na, what I did was, because I was lazy and I'm like, okay, I just want to quickly get done with this. I went to all the government institute websites for the design school. So NIFT, NID, um, IIT, all these websites, and then I just checked their footers, and मुझे उनके footers में इतने logos मिल गए that I was like, okay, I think I'm good now. There was one of the logos. I forgot what it was. It was Indian design something. I think it looked something like this. What is this something? Yeah, yeah. This was red and this was black. So this I had seen in on NID website, ka footer, and this thing came. What luck! And I was able to recognize it. I don't think it. I'm not sure if it came in seed or it came in NID, but it was there somewhere. Um, seed paper में था ना हाँ. So this is how you find out a pattern. It just started from these four circles, these four options, but then see how much you can derive out of it. You just have to be smart about it. Same with the culture related questions and art related questions. Sometimes they ask you uh, to put a painting in the sequence of the lifetime of Picasso. So you need to learn about Picasso, you need to learn about all those paintings, what is the historical significance of this. Then you have to see what art movement Picasso is from, and then you have to study all the art movements, and then you have to see, okay, what is an art movement, then you have to learn about all art movements, and then maybe if you have trouble narrowing down because there is so much, you can always watch YouTube videos. They are such good sources to uh, see something, to learn about something um, in a short, matlab in a brief manner. So then you can learn about, okay, these are the art movements, and every art movement has two three important people. These are some two three important paintings. These are the two three important um, like elements in a painting which will help me recognize that it's from this art movement. So it's basically just one question with four options, but you can literally just dig into it, crazily dig into it. And you don't have to spend like, okay, मैं पूरा दिन लगा के I'll sit and make notes and do it. You can literally just do it on the go as you like it. Yeah, Dhriti, you have something to say? If I had gotten that question, maybe many people. But let me just look at that question really quick. For people on live, she's talking about visualization questions. For example, 2023 में भी एक question आया था, तो she's like that a lot of people have given her advice on um, observing, but then she ends up just staring at the object, which makes total sense. So I think what you're trying to ask is how to um, yeah. Wait, let me just pull out that question. Okay. Mm. You can't, people on Meet can't see this, right? Yeah, Indian design mark. Yes. Yes, Ashita, that. It's been 4 years, so please excuse me. But you guys should know this. तुम्हारा एग्जाम आ रहा है 2023 का पेपर है और 2024 का 2029. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Uh, just 1 second. Can you guys hear me? Are you still there? Okay. Have you tried Googling these questions? Does that help? Does any of the approach that is given? Okay. See, honestly, I'm not an expert in these questions, but what, like, I can, if I had to give that question, I would honestly just, try to Google it and find out. So I can't tell you exactly how to solve this question, but I can look at it. I can maybe brainstorm with you like another aspirant. Uh, but I think it is best to just like go on the internet, find out what other people are doing. So, for example, I found this thing by Topper, and there is this mathematic Liber texts, one-to-one volumes of solid of revolution cross sections. So basically, it is visualization of cross sections. So there is a lot of material available on it, not only people who've been looking at seed papers, but generally from uh, mathematician communities. So maybe we should maybe try to look at those and see if it makes sense. What do you think? If not, then maybe we can take some extra time. I can talk to you separately, and we can maybe sit and try to brainstorm because I haven't attempted this paper myself. 2023 का part A. So अभी immediately I don't think I can give you uh, like an immediate solution to this is how you do it. Okay, let's see. The figure shows. By the way, these kind of questions I mostly got wrong. Okay, I'm not putting you on spot, but let me just see. The figure shows a square pyramid that will be cut into multiple solids by extending the circle. See, there are a few kinds of visualization questions come. Okay. Sometimes they ask you to imagine a cube. Sometimes they ask you to imagine a paper. यहाँ से कट है उसने यहाँ पे सर्कल कर दिया यहाँ पे छेद कर दिया इसको ऐसे फोल्ड कर दिया नाउ टेल व्हाट है ना हाँ एंड समटाइम्स दे विल आस्क यू टू मतलब आई एम सीइंग इस टाइप का विजुअलाइजेशन क्वेश्चन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम because it's last years and I haven't properly like sat down and looked at each question from 2023 properly. Part A. So अपने टाइम पे तो आई जस्ट लाइक ये वाले क्वेश्चन मोस्टली मेरे गलत होते थे बट तो मैंने एक टेक्निक लेकर गई थी मैं अपनी कि अगर डाइस वाले क्वेश्चन आएंगे तो मेरे पास मेरा स्टेबलर का इरेजर है उसमें ऐसे डाइस बना के डॉट्स लगा के देखूंगी एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई डिड एंड अगर पेपर का क्वेश्चन आएगा तो मैं उसको फटाफट वहीं पे फोल्ड करके देखूंगी कुछ कुछ करके uh, इसके लिए मैंने ट्रिक सोची नहीं है अभी सो इफ समथिंग कम्स टू माय माइंड आई विल टेल यू बट आई डोंट थिंक दैट विल वर्क इन दिस क्वेश्चन a lot uh, that's a good question but I think I will need to think about it myself a little bit मैंने इसके लिए मतलब शॉर्टकट्स ही सोचे थे आज तक तो स्पेशली ये थ्री डी फॉर्म में जिस तरह से ये बोल रहे हैं करने के लिए ये मैं भी फर्स्ट टाइम में देख रही हूँ ऐसा क्वेश्चन ओके सो it's good that you bring it up. You know what? Give me some time. I'll get back to you on this. I'll get back to everyone on this. I'll find out how to do this. Wow, you're asking me very difficult questions. Okay, let me see. Hmm, I think for personally for me अब जैसे मेरी ये 3D वाले में I was not able to like अभी I haven't even read this question so properly like there are some questions जैसे sometimes they'll give you a picture an image they'll ask you they'll rotate it a little bit and then they'll ask you to इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस भी आते हैं those questions I'm able to do but I don't know if this is the right way but for me it has taken a practice of looking at such things a lot जैसे कि मैं बोला ना एनालाइज करो प्रैक्टिस करो एंड स्ट्रेटेजाइज करो तो वो प्रैक्टिस पार्ट में आई विल एक्चुअली क्रिएट समथिंग एंड ट्राई टू स्टडी इट sometimes they'll give you some shapes wait, I'll draw it and tell you sometimes they'll give you ऐसे करके यहाँ से फोल्ड हो रहा है यहाँ पर ऐसे हो रहा है what is the shape going to be and then I've turned it I've put it upside down है ना तो in my practice phase I will uh, sit down and create these things and I'm sure this is not the smartest way it's a more laborious and manual way I will sit down I'll create these shapes I'll actually study it physically how it is moving uh, this is the approach I have taken but again I am not a 3D expert I'm not a material expert um, so I'm sure there are better ways to do this as well but like I need to get into it like I don't know exactly how to like I don't know what are the best ways to improve this. Uh, but I have personally only done in manner way and train my brain to look at things a certain way. Mm. Yeah, That kind of thing is going to happen with almost every question. Like people were prepared to see art culture related questions in MCQs, but then they asked us animation and numerical type questions in MCQs. So you remember that happened, right? Do you remember that they did that? मतलब generally people were expecting ये सब लेकिन उन्हें बहुत एनिमेशन रिलेटेड वो सब क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहे हैं. सो उसकी गारंटी तो मैं तो नहीं दे सकती. अभी मैं इतनी पढ़ी नहीं हूँ. आई थिंक व्हाट वी कैन फोकस इज ऑन whatever we have उसको अच्छे से पक्का करो. आई थिंक दैट इज व्हाट वी कैन फोकस ऑन. इफ आई फाइंड समथिंग बेटर तो मैं आई विल गेट बैक टू यू ऑन दिस. लेकिन दिस रिस्क विल ऑलवेज बी देयर ना. मतलब हाउ अगर हमें पता हो कि कैसे क्वेश्चन आने वाले हैं then फिर जीवन सफल हो जाएगा. No, I know what you mean. कि मतलब what are the books, what are the resources, what is the method? That is what you're asking, right? And not only this, there are a lot of questions. Someone is saying on this YouTube वाला chat कि water pressure वाले questions भी होते हैं. Uh, उस टाइप के भी questions होते हैं. तो मतलब uh, मेरे देखो मेरा एक तो पहली बात मैथ्स बैकग्राउंड नहीं है. बट you will always have some strong sides to you and you'll always have some weak sides to you. मेरा पर्टिकुलरली वीक साइड इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन ही थे, बहुत ऐसे एनालिटिकल. तो आई कैन टेल यू व्हाट इज द बेस्ट वे टू डू इट, बट आई कैन टॉक अबाउट द मेथड्स आई यूज्ड टू मेक श्योर दैट आई रीच अ कट ऑफ. I shared these kind of questions with my friends who were engineers, या फिर who were preparing for civil services. Uh, इन लोगों को भी भेजती थी. I sometimes I would just get lucky and someone would just know exactly what to do. But a lot of times people do not know. So that these are some approaches I used, and ये वाला visualization वाला भी वही था. मतलब मैं बहुत ऐसे manually step by step सोचती हूँ. तो मैंने तो वही किया था कि कभी कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है मैं बैठ के उसको बना के ऐसे देखती थी. एंड आई विल जस्ट ट्राई टू स्टडी एंड देन आई विल ट्राई टू गो बैकवर्ड कि अच्छा अभी तक मैंने ऐसा कर लिया है, बट व्हाट इफ आई हैव टू ओपन इट, हाउ विल इट ओपन, देन आई try to do it again. Most of the times in my preparation time, I still got those questions wrong. So, yeah, so there's something wrong with my brains. Yeah, so this is not the best way to do it. Either of those two things. Maybe I'm not the best person to answer this particular thing with you. Uh, yeah, sorry to leave you disappointed. ठीक है. ओके, ठीक है. कोशिश करो करने की ऑन द फाइनल नोट. अगर नहीं होता है देन एग्जाम टाइम में देख लो. अगर नहीं होता है तो इतना दिमाग एग्जाम टाइम में मत लगाना. बिकॉज ये क्वेश्चन कितने मार्क्स का है? 3 का है, 2 का है? ओके, अगर विजुअलाइजेशन में तुम्हें अगर 5 मार्क्स के भी क्वेश्चन आते हैं, तुम्हारे 6 मार्क्स के भी क्वेश्चन आते हैं, एंड इफ यू नॉट एबल टू डू इट, it's okay. It's okay. But just make sure that you don't use, you don't get intimidated or confused or feel sad about this particular question when you see it in the exam hall. Okay? If nothing works out, just make sure that during the exam hall, ये गलत होता है, इसको I'm not going to अगर मेरा 0 तक ले लूँगी, if I'm not scoring here, I'm not going to get a negative mark, and then you move on to 50 other things that you're brilliant at, and then you get the cutoff. Okay? Um, Sangvi, you have anything? Hmm. Got it. Sangi is asking how many questions I left in the exam and how many questions I like basically what was my strategy. My strategy was very simple. Just enjoy the paper. I know so many people who have cracked the exams, who have come out of the exam hall, and they've been like, "Maza aa gaya. Wow, it was fun." So it is very important to first of all go inside with that attitude, and not go inside with anxiety. And so, Dhriti, you know what? I'll tell you the good in what you asked. So, Abhi Dhriti was asking about this question, right? Visualization. And she was like, yeah, I don't know how to approach this, but there is still something positive that is happening here, which is that you know that these questions are something you're not very good at and you're not able to figure out. So, in the exam hall, when this comes, you know this is going to take more time and it is going to be less accurate, and you know you don't have to attempt it. So this is exactly what my strategy was. In every question that I did during my preparation time, I created this, not physically as it, but mentally I created it. Okay, this is going to take more time, this is going to be less accurate. I know I don't have to do this right now. So there were always like um, three kinds of questions. Okay, I'll show you. I have done this with someone else also. I have that thing here. Yes. So there are always three kinds of questions. One that you always get right in green. One you know that अभी जैसे धृति was like यार ये मेरा gray area है. I think I might be able to get this right, but I need to work on it. And one you know कि ये this is not working out. So in our preparation time, it is important to make this section green. It didn't work, but it's important to make this section green. जो आता है वो तो पक्का करना है. The stuff that we don't, which are we are dicey but trying, like Dhriti is trying, she's asking everyone and putting me on spot on my life. And then things that I know that I will not get. So maybe this question falls here, Dhriti. You're almost like, you know what, I'm not getting it. Try to get that green, but then you'll always leave stuff, which won't happen. But you still have this much. So this was first of all my strategy to be okay with leaving a few questions. Like I'm mentally okay with it. So if I see it in the exam, I know chill I see it. I know I can do other stuff. Okay, so that first of all that is very important. Second thing is definitely like I was saying initially कि जैसे NAT है MCQ है. मैं मतलब I would always study the brochure first, study the like, pattern first. What is the exam में negative marking कहाँ है, किसमें कितने questions हैं. I have also write the number of questions. So you know that first 8 questions NAT में like I did this मैंने किया ही नहीं पहले मैंने देखा ही नहीं NAT. I don't want to waste my time because there's only 1 minute to do every question. And if I spend 30 seconds reading every question in that, I'm anyway losing time. So I'll read it when I want to do it. So I directly jump to MCQs because although there is a negative marking, -1, but I know most of the questions I get right here. So I attempted everything. Whichever I did not know, I did not attempt at all because negative marking one. And then I went to MSQs. यहाँ पे भी what I did not know, I did not attempt at all because negative marking -0.5 है and we do not have partial marking back then. And then I went to NAT and I solved everything because there's no negative marking, right? And then later the uh, 12 minutes or 16 minutes, 14 minutes, whatever I saved, जो मेरा buffer time था, I tried to invest more time in whatever I had not done. So this was basically my strategy. So Sang is asking that if, when I eventually by in my buffer time, how do I know that um, that these many I have left, and how am I confident that it'll be enough to qualify? Sangvi, I don't think about these things during the exam because I just have 1 minute for each question. All I'm thinking about is the question. I don't. If I start worrying about whether I'll crack it, whether I'll clear it, I'm only losing time. So I don't think about that. I just make sure that I attempt everything. Um, yeah, and I also put some questions in red category. I know I won't be able to get it right in that time. I always put it in the, like I've read MSQs, may multi-select. I know that okay, but now there is partial marking, right? Negative marking we should always avoid. Yeah, that's what. No, I mean, yeah, and it's very good. Wait, Ramesh is asking, did I give NID and how is it similar to seed? I'll talk about it in a bit, Ramesh. That's very good point, Sangvi. More than preparing now, matlab, I'll again come to this. Okay, analysis, preparation, and strategy. Analysis we've done. That's a good thing. All of you have done the papers and you've come here. Preparation is in two sections. One is preparing for the content, the syllabus, everything that we are doing. Okay. If someone wants to join this call, let me add them also. Yeah. One section of preparation is content, and the second section of preparation is mental. It's actually mental. Like you need to first, like I said, you need to be first of all okay with this. You need to know that when like if I you know half-assedly गलत गलत को भी मैं करके आ जाऊंगी just because I'll just in that कि हाँ आई होप इट गोज राइट आई होप दैट विल बी करेक्ट जल्दी जल्दी या कुछ मैं ऐसा उल्टा काम कर दूंगी it's going to affect me negatively. So only when you do all this work and you do all this work, you will be very calm and very confident with yourself. Um, yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah, yeah, yes. So this is what a strategy is. Yeah, I know. See, I would just say, Dhriti, you asked me one question, which was like such a tough question. Everyone was speechless. Um, you have to be mentally okay with Mr. Shayad. You are not being intimidated. You have to be confident. Yes, you're the bad guy. I know you are the bad guy. I was expecting you. But you know what? Stay here. I'm going to go and do every other question which I know. And you have to be like, मुझे लगता है ना because there is only 1 minute for every question, you have to be you have to make sure that you don't waste any second on any other thought. While even if it means what is the negative marking, all these things should be done before the exam. So actually, I feel that all of you are in a very good space because you're already doing stuff. Anyway, it's been a very long time. Um, anyone else has any questions? I want to talk a little bit about part B as well. So Anushka, tell me. Uh, I got most of my entities wrong. I got almost. By the way, I had left around questions, and I got um, three negative marking in three questions. I think left around eight questions. I'm not so sure, but I left around eight questions, and I got a few questions wrong. Yeah, two or three. I did not get many questions wrong, so that was a good thing. And my score was 58 point something. Okay, so in 58 point something, if I had gotten say like four questions wrong, that would mean my score would drop to 58. Eventually that मतलब eventually वो थोड़ा कभी कभी मैटर कर जाता है. And imagine if I had gotten 10 questions wrong, my score would drop to 48. So actually no, it won't drop to 48. मतलब I'm not counting जो मुझे प्लस में मिला है. तो अगर जैसे एक क्वेश्चन गलत हुआ तो 58 नहीं, मेरा 57 से भी माइनस होता वन तो 56 होता. एक्चुअली नहीं, सही में मुझे 3 मार्क्स मिले ना. तो 58 से माइनस होगी 55 एंड देन मतलब 55 तक मैंने किया होता एंड 55 से नेगेटिव 54 हो जाता. एक क्वेश्चन रॉन्ग में मेरा 54 हो जाता. दैट्स अ ह्यूज रिस्क टू टेक. Yes. So that is why I'm saying that in preparation, content is important, but doing मतलब sorry ये strategy का part है. Strategy, that is why strategy is very 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 important, because you don't want to lose marks just because you got anxious in the exam. Let's solve that anxiety beforehand. Okay, I think there are a lot of requests coming for doing talking about part B a little bit. Okay, shall we move on? So let me pull this out. I can't go through every question, but let's look at a few things. Okay. Uh, no problem, Tanvi. No problem. This is what I'm here for today. Only today. Okay. Awesome. So ये किसी ने किया है 2021 का पेपर. रमेश. This is Ramesh. Uh, why are people joining so late? What is this class? Anyway, रमेश है. आपने इसको बनाया है. I actually like it. What happened to his eyes? Oh, he's trying to. Oh, that's- guys, how convenient it is for you to also join my YouTube stream. You guys on Meet. Can you also join my YouTube stream? Because that way, I can share my iPad and your answers together. Okay. Ramesh, what is the minimum score for part A and part B to get good rank? Actually, Jitendra, ये चीजें ना, it's very subjective. Every year, depending on how everyone is performing, the cutoff increases or decreases. But you should aim for a good 60 or 70. Minimum marks to get good rank is 300. Okay. Did I give NID? Yes, I gave NID. It is similar to seed. I mean, I it's a very long question and I've made videos about it, so I don't want to address it right now. Let me know when you guys are done opening the YouTube stream. Guys are good? Okay, everything is there. Okay. So now you can see this paper, no? On YouTube also you guys can see the paper. Okay. So okay, so this is Ramesh guy. Someone has made it. um, okay, then you have this, यहाँ पे इसकी आँख को क्या हो गया? ठीक है, let me look at some other papers. रमेश वाला क्वेश्चन देख लेती हूँ पहले, जिसने भी किया हुआ है. You guys are able to see everything, no? Hmm. Hmm. ये किसने किया? अच्छा, जिसने भी किया है, you don't have to say it if you don't want to. But just have a look at what everyone is doing. Oh, this Ramesh boy. Hmm. See? Hmm. Okay. Okay. Nice. Actually, really like the handwriting here. It's very impressive. And also, like the sketching here is like super. I've gone through them, but I'm just like quickly going through it again. Nice. Rough sketches. Mr. Singh wale question ke. I think you guys are pretty good. This is the Ramesh question. See, we've gotten a variety of. Uh, Acha, tell me something. Mr. Singh wale question mein, was Mr. Singh supposed to sit in the corner, stand at the corner of the room, or was he standing in like center somewhere, and the camera was at the corner? Camera was at but in the center of the room. Okay. ठीक है. Is that any task kind of a thing to draw? Questions. Okay, let's do this. Part B, the most important thing we need to talk about. See, I really like some of the papers that have been done here. Again, take my opinions because they are opinions with a pinch of salt. Because इसकी कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि जो मैं बोल रही हूँ वो एकदम सही है, ठीक है? So I would love for you guys to use your own brains, see what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, and also people who are here in the Google Meet, talk back to me, tell me stuff what you think and what you don't think, ठीक है? Any preference on which paper should I talk about first? Okay, no preferences. Um, which question? Which paper? Who is asking this question? Okay. I think we have had this discussion, no? Yeah, we've had this discussion in one of our one-on-ones. Okay. Um, ठीक है. Let's talk about this paper. Okay. So I don't know how to talk about it again because I've already spoken with you about this. Uh, देखो कुछ पेपर्स है ना, हर किसी के अपने अलग से वीकनेस होगा, ठीक है? इट इज एक्चुअली वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू डू इट कलेक्टिवली फॉर एवरीवन. सो लेट मी जस्ट चूज अ पेपर दैट आई लाइक. ओके. So I will choose this paper. Randomly came this paper. Whosoever has done this paper, देखो first of all ना, it is very important. पार्ट बी होता है ना, उसमें दो चीजें होती हैं मोस्टली. Sorry. Can you give me a minute? I think someone is at the door. I need to open it. Okay. Just absorb this. Make some opinions on this. Just I'm just giving you a minute, please. Just give me a minute. Yes, I'm back. देखो, पार्ट बी के क्वेश्चंस में ना सबसे अच्छी चीज ये होती है दैट दे गिव यू द इवैल्यूएशन क्राइटेरियाज. ओके, आर यू गाइस स्टिल देयर? हाँ, they give you good evaluation criteria to look at, to study, and to focus your answers around. So if I pull out the question paper, actually I need to. Someone had done that. I want to see the question paper, but I also want to make sure that you are able to see it as I see it. अच्छा ठीक है. Um, एक काम करते हैं, ये वाला क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं. ठीक है, सॉरी आई एम मूविंग ऑन बिकॉज क्वेश्चन पेपर इज ऑल्सो हियर. तो देखो इसकी इवैल्यूएशन क्राइटेरिया में क्या लिखा हुआ है. एबिलिटी टू कीप द कैरेक्टर कंसिस्टेंट. So it is important to keep the character consistent. The expression and body gesture of the character. Expressions are important and gestures are important, and fine line quality and finish of the drawing. Do you think this stands true? Matlab, do you think it does justice to the evaluation criteria? Anyone can unmute and say. इसमें ये बनाना था ना that she is sitting and waiting for the customers. Do you think it does justice to all the three evaluation criteria? Yeah. देखो, first of all, final line quality and finish of the drawing, though it is not doing justice completely. ठीक है. I don't know. Has it done with a pen? Has it been done with a pen? देखो अगर you don't have good drawing skills ना, that is okay. But still इसको थोड़ा प्यार से बनाओ. थोड़ा सा मतलब जैसे make sure that your lines are not going all the way and everywhere. Um, this is one trick that I always give talk about is कि देखो use a कच्ची pencil, not कच्ची pencil, what is a कच्ची pencil? 2H pencil फर्स्ट. ओके, 2H पेंसिल या फिर कोई 4H पेंसिल लेके पहले उसको हल्का ड्रॉ करो. इफ यू आर नॉट वेरी गुड विद स्केचिंग, जो लोग दे आर गुड विद स्केचिंग दे कैन गेट मतलब अटेन दे कैन अटेन they can attain this halka line even using 2Bs and 6Bs. But if you're not so good, you get a 2H pencil, दो तीन 2H pencils लेके जाओ, sharpened nicely, sharpened and everything. Do some rough sketching पहले. ये सारा ये जो तुमने यहाँ वहाँ लाइन बाहर निकली हुई है ना पूरी हर जगह, जो पहले 2H से करो. And once you are happy, this is where I want my lines to be, use a 2B or a 6B or a 4B to do the final thing on it. Okay. So fine line drawing, मतलब ये तो basic है, तुम्हें fine line quality लानी ही पड़ेगी. And even if with people who are not very good um, with their sketching, even they can do it because I'm giving a very mechanical method to do it. यहाँ पे I see that you've done something with a pencil in the background. यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे फिर भी you've done a very good job comparatively. So I don't know, was it because you were in a rush? But then again, we have to learn how to do it in a very good way in a rush. People say How do I improve my sketching? I say, ask me how do I improve my fast sketching. अभी तुम्हें को थोड़ा-सा टाइम रह गया है, अभी तो फिर भी मैं बोलूँगी यू कैन स्टिल सिट एंड डू इट मज़े से, लेकिन लास्ट के 10-15 दिन जो होंगे या फिर 20-25 दिन, यू हैव टू लर्न टू स्केच फास्ट। सो दिस इज़ वन टेक्निक। अगेन टाइम मैनेजमेंट। कितने मिनट मिलते हैं तुमको? 120 मिनट मिलते हैं, राइट? कितने क्वेश्चंस करने के लिए? 5 क्वेश्चंस करने के लिए। सो एक क्वेश्चंस को कितना टाइम दोगे? Wrong answer. 1 minute, एक क्वेश्चन को हम देंगे 20 मिनट्स ओनली। वेयर इज द बफर टाइम? यस, सो एवरी क्वेश्चन गेट्स 20 मिनट्स ओनली, and the rest of the 20 minutes we keep as buffer, just in case some other question needs more help, then we give that time. So in 20 minutes for each question, um, depends on the question, but maybe for a question like this, जहाँ पे इतनी ideology की ज़रूरत नहीं है, maybe you can give 2 minutes to just figure out कि what exactly you're going to do. Just read the question, 2 मिनट तो उसमें लग जाएंगे, है ना? Read the question, उसको समझो, थोड़ा सा फिर 1 मिनट लगा के डिसाइड कर लो। ये तो क्वेश्चन रीडिंग हो गई ना। 1 मिनट करके डिसाइड कर लो, आइडिएट कि दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू। 3 मिनट आर गॉन। यूज नेक्स्ट maybe 7 minutes to do the rough drawing. So there were two expressions to give, then that means you only have 3.5 minutes each question, or say, let's say 3 minutes to do a rough sketch of every question. So you just have this much time, and then उसके बाद तुम्हारे पास कितना टाइम बचा? 10 मिनट बचे ना? मैं तुम्हें बोलूँ नहीं, तुम्हारे पास सिर्फ 6 मिनट बचे हैं। And this for final. And 4 minutes you save on this question, so that just in case you need it for some other question. Okay. um, I know there are no watches allowed, Ramesh, but you have a timer on your screen, है ना? टाइमर होता है ना एग्जाम हॉल में, जिन्होंने पहले पेपर, हाँ, तो यूज दैट। So this is how I strategize, and all this practice and strategy. Abhi this looks overwhelming, but when you practice it, पहले करोगे जब घर पे बैठ के 10 बार 15 बार करोगे, ये it will come naturally to you, like it comes naturally to me. So you know that when ऐसा कुछ आए हैं, 2 objects बनाने को दिए, I just have 3 minutes. Quickly get a pencil, डू द रफ थिंग। ओके, ऐसे ऐसे मुझे बनानी है, ये ऐसे ऐसे बनाऊंगी, मेरे को यहाँ पे इसका ये बॉडी है, यहाँ पे ऐसे बैठी होगी, यहाँ पे इसकी वो है मछली का बास्केट, वट जो भी तुम ऐसे करोगे, बिकॉज वहाँ पे तुम्हारे पास टाइम नहीं है यार, तुमने 3 मिनट में करना है। कैसे कैसे करोगे, डू दैट। ओके, एंड देन डू द अदर वन ऑल्सो। देर आर सम people who have done it very neatly, so kudos, like even I can't do it that neatly. So your sketching skills are very good, but for people who don't have those level of sketching skills, you can always do something like this. Okay, 3 3 मिनट में मैंने कर दिया, उसके बाद use the next 3 minutes to fare it out. Once you are happy, do all the mistakes here. उसकी आंख ऐसे होनी चाहिए या फिर उसकी आंख ऐसे होनी चाहिए या कैसे होनी चाहिए. Once you do the rough sketch, go back to the question paper, see is it, and am I able to keep the character consistent? Does the body gesture and everything is good? क्या मैंने बैंगल्स सही नंबर की बना दी हैं? क्या गजरा ठीक है? क्या उसकी बास्केट, और जब जैसे इसको ही देख लो, तुम्हारी बास्केट और मछली की वो ही ठीक नहीं है प्रोपोर्शंस, ठीक है? इट लुक्स लाइक यू हैव डन इट इन अ रश, एंड वी विल बी डूइंग इट इन अ रश, दैट इज ट्रू, वी हैव टू डू इट इन अ रश, बट इट डजंट लुक लाइक वी हैव डन इट इन अ रश, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू स्ट्रैटेजाइज। जब तुम आइडिएट कर रहे हो, जब तुम यहाँ पर इसको इस तरह से रफ रफ रफ, मतलब जब तुम डिसाइड कर रहे हो कहाँ पे क्या चीज़ जानी चाहिए, You only have 3 minutes to do it, but the next 3 minutes जब तुम अपनी पक्की पेंसिल चलाओगे, बड़ी सी पक्की पेंसिल, जब तुम अपनी वो फाइनल ड्रॉ करोगे, then there are no thinking anything else. It has to be just one line. And this is for people who can't draw like me, howsoever you want to draw it. Okay, I have a YouTube video on it already, जिसमें मैंने खुद बना के डाला हुआ है, तुम उसको देख लेना रेफरेंस के लिए। अभी मैं इसको ऐसे सस्ता सा बना रही हूँ। अभी देखो इसका, लुक एट हर proportions. उसका फेस इज नॉट सर्कुलर, उसका फेस इज ओवल। ठीक है, दिस इज द अदर थिंग आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट, व्हिच इज, ये तो ड्राइंग स्किल्स की हो गई ना। अभी आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द अटेंशन टू डिटेल पार्ट दैट आई वांटेड टू से। लुक एट अ बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर। पहली बात तो उसका बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर कुछ ऐसे है, यहाँ पे उसका फेस है ऐसे, यहाँ पे उसकी बाकी की बॉडी है, उसके पैर यहाँ पर इतने से हैं, ये भी इतने पतले नहीं है, है ना, तो ये भी मैंने गलत किया, तो उसके पैर यहाँ पर हैं, ऐसे थोड़े से मोटे मोटे से हैं। तो ये सब जो चीज़ें हैं, ये तुम्हारी उस रफ वाली में हो जानी चाहिए। इसके लिए तुम्हें दोबारा ये जब एक बार पक्का कर दोगे, तब तुमने ये खिचड़ी नहीं पकानी है वहाँ पे। ठीक है? एनीथिंग एनीवन वांट्स टू से? अब ये देखो, इट इज़ नॉट कंसिस्टेंट ना। दूसरी चीज़ है, अब इसके सिंपल सी चीज़ है, मतलब इट्स नॉट अ ह्यूज डील, बट इट मेक्स अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस इन द वे इट लुक्स। हर हेयर इज़ मतलब ये तुम वो फाइनल के 3 मिनट में कर सकते हो, उसको पक्का कर सकते हो। काला-काला उसका कर दो जहाँ पे है, उसकी बैंगल्स हैं यहाँ पे। ठीक है? तो इस टाइप की अटेंशन टू डिटेल दे सकते हैं ना। ये चीज़ मैंने अपनी यूट्यूब वीडियो में भी बोली हुई है। तो इतना तो कर ही सकते हैं, नहीं कर सकते? ये मैंने एक मेथड अपने लिए जुगाड़ बिठाया था कि कभी भी मुझे कुछ बनाना है, तो मैं उसको हमेशा ना ऐसे बनाऊँगी। पहले तो हमेशा पहले उसकी पूरा स्ट्रक्चर देखो। सो व्हाट एम आई सीइंग हियर? What is the shape I'm seeing here? So my shape is like this. And then then I break it down. Okay, so इस proportion में यहाँ पे there is something, and then there is something. So this is how I generally do it. I don't start, okay, face बनाऊंगी, then उसकी body बनाऊंगी, then obviously it is not going to be similar. This is the method I use for myself. You can see what works for you. Sometimes when something comes to draw out of imagination, पहली बात देखो, इसमें भी हमने वही स्ट्रैटेजी लगानी है जो हमने पार्टी के लिए लगाई है, सिलेबस बनाओ। तो एक बार तुम्हें पता लग गया कि दे वांट यू टू बी एबल टू रेप्लिकेट थिंग्स, यहाँ पे तुम्हें अटेंशन टू डिटेल देना है, बिकॉज सी एबिलिटी टू कीप कैरेक्टर कंसिस्टेंट, तो दे रिक्वायर यू टू गिव अटेंशन टू डिटेल। देन एक्सप्रेशन जेस्चर्स के बारे में तो वो तुम्हें विजुअलाइज करना है अब। ठीक है, सो दैट ऑल्सो द रिक्वायर्ड यू टू डू। सो एज अ प्रैक्टिस व्हाट आई वुड डू इज आई वुड जस्ट गो होम एंड practice expressions. What if I have to draw a scared man? हाउ डू आई डू इट इन अ स्टाइल विच वर्क्स फॉर मी? तो मैं जैसे ऐसा मुंह बनाती हूँ, मेरे को आसान होता है ये मुंह बनाना, तो मैंने तैयारी कर ली कि अगर ऐसा कुछ बनाने को आया, नॉट ओनली इन दिस बट प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन में, या कहीं पे आया जहाँ पे दे आर नॉट आस्किंग यू टू स्टिक टू अ स्पेसिफिक स्टाइल, व्हाट डू आई डू? मैं कुछ ऐसा ऐसा बनाऊंगी, दिस इज माई स्टाइल, एंड मैं ऐसा हाथ बनाऊंगी एंड ऐसे 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 करूंगी, एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू स्टिक विद। तो ये मतलब इतना गंदा नहीं, लेकिन यू गेट एन आइडिया राइट कि दिस इज गोइंग टू बी माय स्टाइल। तो वो मैं एक रेडी करके रखती हूँ। दूसरा मेरे को ये रेडी करके रखना है कि अगर सामने इमेज दी हुई है तो मुझे उसको कॉपी कैसे करना है। तो जैसे इस केस में मैं ऐसा ऐसा रफ पेंसिल से ऐसे ऐसे कर लूँगी, इसको मेरे को वैसा वैसा बनाना है। जुगाड़ बिठा रही हूँ मैं, कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ। ठीक है, तो वो मुझे देख के प्रैक्टिस करनी है। मैं तो यही मेथड यूज़ करती हूँ। जैसे मुझे अगर अपना हाथ भी देख के बनाना है ना, तो मैं पहले पूरे के पूरे हाथ की शेप बनाऊंगी ऐसे करके कि मेरा हाथ पहले से इज लाइक अ रेक्टेंगल, एंड देन यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा कट है, एंड ऐसे थोड़ा ज़्यादा कट है। ठीक है, एंड ये चीज़ें ना प्रैक्टिस से ही आती हैं। एक काम करो, तुम लोग अपना हाथ ही बनाओ पहले बैठ के। यहाँ पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा एंगल है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा कम है, ये थोड़ी ज़्यादा लंबी है, ऐसे है, देन देयर इज अ कर्व हियर, whatever. Malawi, I'm just doing it very roughly, but I always start with an outer shape whenever something comes to replicate. But this is not an art class, so you can always look on the internet on how to do it. But trust me, the key to solve these nicely, draw these nicely is to practice. You have to practice, practice, practice. And good thing we're doing this workshop today. You have a lot of time, so use that time. Is that okay? This is like a general feedback. Okay, I can't go to every paper and do this. अब देखो इसमें भी expression. एक और चीज थी, ये तो चलो जब से मैंने वीडियो डाली है मुझे लगता है a lot of these answers when they come to me now they have significantly improved, but it's also important to add a story there. एक मेरे को बड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन दिखा था, किसी ने सॉल्व किया है, रमेश का। ठीक है, अब जैसे यहाँ पे देखो, रमेश इज किकिंग दिस बॉल ऑन अ मडी ग्राउंड। कैन वी सी दैट? कैन वी सी दैट हैपनिंग? कैन वी सी हिम स्प्लैशिंग द मड एज वेल? अदरवाइज वो नॉर्मल ग्राउंड में कर रहा है, स्पेस में जाके कर रहा है, अपने घर पे कर रहा है, उसमें जब स्पेसिफिकली दिया हुआ है कि वो मडी ग्राउंड में कर रहा है, देन गिव मी दैट स्टोरी ऑल्सो। ओके, ऑल्दो लव योर लाइन ड्राइंग एंड एवरीथिंग इज परफेक्ट, ऑल्सो आई थिंक यू मेड द कैरेक्टर कंसिस्टेंट एज वेल, बट योर कैरेक्टर लैक्स अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी, which you can add if you make the mud splash. That would be awesome. There's one more that I saw which I really liked. देखो यहाँ पे भी ये फिशर वुमन वाले में, although I love her expressions, and I see that you've tried to keep the character consistent also. यहाँ पे इनके बाल क्यों क्रूएला जैसे क्यों बना दिए इनके बाल? लेकिन आई थिंक like it doesn't look like she's sitting properly. थोड़ा anatomy में भी हम काम कर सकते हैं. The flow of the fabric. They've asked you to, मतलब हाँ, तो देखो इसमें अब मैं कैसे करती प्रिपेयर, मैं आई वुड स्टडी फैब्रिक्स, हाउ टू ड्रॉ फैब्रिक्स, हाउ टू ड्रॉ फोल्ड्स। एक जैसे कर्टन होता है, देन हाउ डू आई शो दैट दिस इज दिस सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ फैब्रिक। एक और चीज दैट यू कैन प्रैक्टिस इज द स्टडिंग हाउ डिफरेंट मटेरियल्स आर ड्रॉन। ठीक है, एंड ये तुमको अपने स्टाइल में करना है। ऐसे मत सोचना कि मैं अभी तो ऐसे कुछ भी कर रही हूँ, एग्जाम हॉल में बहुत ऐसे तीर मार दूंगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है। एग्जाम हॉल में तुम वही करते हो जो तुमने घर में किया है एवरी डे। Also, I hope you guys are using the same pencils which you are planning to use for your exam. Same pencil, same eraser. Make yourself at home with your tools and only use those tools in the exam. So, like sometimes when they're asking you to draw the mixer grinder का जो नीचे का मिक्सी है, ठीक है, तो मिक्सी is of a certain material, right? So even if you have to visualize it, learn how to draw these different materials in your style. सो उसको कैसे शेड करना है, हाउ डू यू डिफरेंशिएट अ ग्लास फ्रॉम अ मेटल, फ्रॉम अ प्लास्टिक। सो दिस इज हाउ यू, दिस इज वॉट यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस हियर। ऑल्सो एनाटॉमी, ह्यूमन एनाटॉमी इज सो इम्पॉर्टेंट बिकॉज ये हर बार पूछते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ इंसान बनाने को तो आ ही जाता है। वॉट इज अ ह्यूमन एनाटॉमी? एनीवन नोज? मतलब किसी को पता है यहाँ पे जो बैठे हुए हैं? कुछ ऐसा होता है ना कि 10 सेक्शंस बनाते हैं, एंड देन इस सेक्शन तक टॉर्सो होगा, एंड यहाँ इस सेक्शन तक आएँगे, एंड तुम्हारे लेग्स नीज़ इस सेक्शन तक आएँगी, एंड तुम्हारे बाकी का यहाँ तक आएगा, यहाँ पे तुम्हारे फीट आएँगे। ठीक है, तो वो क्या होता है, वो सब एक बार नेट पे देखना। एनाटॉमी क्या होती है? Not only human anatomy. Learn how to draw dogs, learn how to draw cats, learn how to draw a dog jumping, a cat jumping. Sometimes they will give you, एक cat है उसने ऐसे जंप मारी पार्ट ए में, उसकी वो बनाओ, सीक्वेंस में डालो। तो ये एनिमेशन का सिंपल क्वेश्चन आता है, तो गो ऑन द इंटरनेट, सी कैसे होता है, learn how to do it frame by frame, learn how to do a man walking frame by frame. So this is how you derive syllabus from part B, and this is what you prepare for. Okay, तो इसको थोड़ा सा और refine करो, whosoever is doing this. Look at this also. एक मछली दे दी है, ये पैसा ऐसे मिल गया भाई, क्या क्या क्या। ओके, awesome, ठीक है। Anyone has any question, anything to say? हाँ जी, अनुष्का. हम्म. नहीं नहीं, यू प्रैक्टिस दैट ना. तभी तो मैं बोल रही हूँ 2H लो एंड उसको बहुत हल्के हाथ से करो 2H को. What company pencil are you using? I'll give you. That's also good, but I'll gift you a Stedler if you want. ठीक है? You DM me, I'll give you a Stedler. I have some extra Stedlers also. Where do you live? Okay, you don't have to say this. Okay, you told this. Um, तो oh, yeah, it's a little expensive, but I had bought a set. But उस set मत लो क्योंकि मेरे को मैंने जब set लिया तो मेरी सिर्फ 2B, 2H एंड 4B ही यूज हुई है. बाकी वो सेट ना वैसे ही पड़ा हुआ है 4 सालों से. वो अनटच्ड है एकदम. तो just get a 2H और maybe a B pencil and 2B and 4B, है ना? एक रफ, एक थोड़ा फेयर करने के लिए, एक अगर कहीं पे ज़्यादा मेरे को डेप्थ दिखानी है तो थोड़ी और डार्क पेंसिल चाहिए होती है तो उसके लिए. बस इतना रखो. हर पेंसिल के 3-3 रखो जोड़े. Make sure that you don't sharpen your 2Bs and 4Bs because if you sharpen, you'll be able to shade. I did that mistake. So I was like, oh shit, so I had to like blunt it at the exam in the exam hall. Um, ठीक है. So anything else anyone want to ask here, or I can move on to the other kind of questions? Yeah, me too. And that's why I do all my rough stuff with a 2H pencil with a very light hand, which is easy to erase later. And matlab, देखो, I'm not an art teacher, so I can't give you like a, do these exercises and do that. I'm sure you have a lot of resources available on the internet for that. But what I do is this kind of a rough sketch, and then I will like eventually just fair it out. And you don't need a micron or anything. You can just do it with your pencils. Um, is that what you're asking, or is there anything else that you're trying to say which I'm not able to, which I couldn't touch? Tell me. Hmm. That is दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग कि ओके सो अभी मैंने जैसे बोला था 3 मिनट्स लगाओ तुम रफ करने में एंड देन तुम 3 मिनट्स लगाओ उसको हाँ बोला बात चलेंगे बात चलेंगे and 3 minutes to fare it out. Then, if you think you take longer to decide exactly how you want your character to look, then maybe give 4 minutes here and 2 minutes here. And remember the buffer time we had a huge buffer bucket. It's okay. Give 3 minutes here. Use that buffer time here if you know तुम्हें लगता है कि यहाँ पे तुम्हें ज़्यादा time लग रहा है. And it is okay if it looks sketchy. It should just look neat. All I'm saying is that जो तुम्हारी final मोटी वाली lines है ना they should not be sketchy. They should not be मतलब they can be sketchy but they shouldn't be like कि ऐसे नहीं मुझे ऐसे करना था ये मुझे हाथ ऐसे ओ नहीं ऐसे नहीं ऐसे बना नहीं ऐसे ऐसे बना कैसे is it good or नहीं ऐसे you know the final drawing should not be like that is all I'm saying. Do you think you can manage to do that maybe with a little bit of more practice? um yeah ये भी एक factor होता है. The more you practice at home ना this will get better. You will get more confident. Even when you're practicing at home, I will still encourage you to not take 30 minutes to do one thing. I would still encourage you to take 6, 7 minutes, maybe start with 10 minutes, but not longer than that. And time block it. इतने में मेरे को रफ खत्म करना है इतने में मेरे को फिर फाइनल खत्म करना है and it will come with practice Namya. Anything else anyone? Okay, people are not able to ask. What Namya asked was कि जब उसको एग्जाम हॉल में जब वो छोटे टाइम में उसको करना होगा या फिर when she doesn't have enough time to like luxuriously sit and finish all the papers all the drawing, then sometimes her sketches get very sketchy. You should look at some illustrators or just google it, okay, illustration of this pencil illustration of something. You will see some illustrators they draw certain things. It looks a little sketchy but their final lines are very clean. Wait, you are on my youtube also now because then you'll be able to see this. Construction lines are different from rough drawing. See, if they are 2H, if they are small, uh, मतलब if they're very light, then you can leave it as it is. But I'll show you. मैंने यहाँ पर ही किसी का देखा था रुको मैं तुम्हें वही दिखा Hmm. I saw someone's paper. I want to pull it out. See, like this sketch, it doesn't look like these are construction lines. Okay, this is like कि उसने जिसने भी बनाया यहाँ पे जैसे क्लीन लाइंस दिख रही हैं मुझे लेकिन यहाँ पे इट लुक्स लाइक कि एक ही लाइन के ऊपर टक 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 करके खींचा हुआ है ना. ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज दैट डू दिस टक 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 with a lighter hand. I want to give you example of this very nice sketch that I saw. See, this is also there now. Just इसमें भी you can see that some rough thing was done in the background, but this person has done clean lines on top. Although I still think it's very dark. There is another one. Let me just quickly pull it. Even this one, you can see some rough thing was done in the background, but the final drawing is clean. Not this one. Where is it? Where is it? Very nice one I saw. यहाँ पे भी उन्होंने क्लीन किया बट वही है पता है मतलब आई थिंक इट रियली डिपेंड्स ऑन अ पर्सन स्टाइल इफ समवन आस्क्स मी टू डू इट आई वोंट बी एबल टू डू इट एग्जैक्टली लाइक दिस these are constructions line now you can call this a construction line okay they have tried to give it some perspective and यहाँ पे they've done some lines so that is something you can do. Yeah, this one I was talking about. I feel like this person is pro at sketching. whosoever has done this. So they're very good with perspectives and everything. But see, even they have taken sport of construction lines. यहाँ पे they have done this um, perspective, and then they have something they've done with the lighter hand, and then they've tried to like give depth. See, these lines are not so like no, not heavy, but this is heavy because it's at a curve, and they've played with यहाँ पे dark है, यहाँ पे light है. So this kind of nuance they've given to give more depth and character to their sketch is what I'm saying, that decide where everything is going to go in your rough sketch, and then once you're happy with it, then only do it with a 2B or a 6B or a 4B pencil to give that sort of a depth. I'm sure this person had also. Whose paper is this? Can you tell me if you did some light-handed sketching before? Like, okay. Now this one is also good, but you can still see a lot of rough work that was happening. It's a little dark. So all I'm saying is उसको थोड़ा सा पहले हल्के हाथ से करो. एंड वो नहीं होगा अगर तुम्हें लगेगा कि अगर तुम खुद को सिर्फ 5 मिनट दोगे ना ड्रॉ करने के लिए, तो वो नहीं होगा. जैसे ये भी है, इसमें किसी ने पहले पीछे तो पेंसिल से बनाया है, लेकिन ऊपर जो ब्लैक से बनाया है उसमें भी ऐसे तोड़ 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 के बनाया है. नॉट एंटायरली बट एट सम प्लेसेस, बट यहाँ पे जैसे सिंगल लाइन खींच दी है. सो ऑल आई एम सेइंग कि वो चीज, अब देखो ये बॉल में उसको समझ नहीं आया कि मैं फुटबॉल बनाने लगे, बट तुमने कुछ 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 कर दिया है. Do all that planning, do all that when you're doing with when you're working with your 2H pencil. यहाँ पे किच किच चीज ये आना है या नहीं आना है, make all these decisions when you're doing your uh, thing with the 2H pencil, and do that in this time, because once you start doing this there is no time to go back and fix anything. This has a lot of because the construction lines are getting overlapped with the actual drawing, which is again very rough. So this is, we have to practice to not do this. We have to practice to make sure that the perspective lines and everything is very light-handedly done. If you don't have access to 2H pencils, देखो यहाँ पे भी ये किया है, लेकिन टक टक टक, don't do this टक टक टक. This is also very roughly done. यहाँ पे ह्यूमन बनाया है, लेकिन बहुत रफली बनाया है. आई एम श्योर यू डन इट जस्ट बिकॉज यू वर प्रैक्टिसिंग, बट ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज दिस इज गुड एंड दिस इज नॉट बैड, दिस इज गुड. ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज हियर ऑन use this strategy and try to deliver a good neatly done sketch within the time frame. ये मत सोचो कि हम एग्जाम हॉल में कर लेंगे, ठीक है. थोड़ा अच्छे, मेरे को याद है मेरी भी कोई ड्राइंग इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. व्हेन आई वाज इन माय फर्स्ट ईयर ऑफ निफ्ट, so my drawing teacher, I got a C grade in that subject. It was a 6 credit subject and I got a C grade. And Mrs. Rangda ma'am, Rangda ma'am, Professor Rangda, she came and I said, ma'am, मेरे को आपने सी दिया. And she's like कि जो आर्टिस्ट का हाथ होता है ना, वो कॉन्फिडेंट होना चाहिए, वो ऐसे टक 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 नहीं होना चाहिए. इट शुडंट बी लाइक ऐसे. मैं ऐसे ही ड्रॉ करती थी, मैं और शिट में कैसे गंदा ड्रॉ करती थी. ऐसे ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. इट शुड फ्लो लाइक दिस. And that flow, obviously it comes with practice. ये तब जाता है जब तुम प्रैक्टिस करते हो. तो दे यूज टू गिव अस दिस एक्सरसाइजेस कि रैंडमली कहीं बैठे हो, डू दिस, मेक सर्कल्स, डू दिस. एक न्यूज़पेपर लो, मेक स्ट्रेट लाइंस. तुम्हारा हाथ खुलेगा. एंड डोंट ड्रॉ विद योर palm, ड्रॉ विद योर हैंड, like that. So these were a few tips that I used every day morning. मूवी देख रही हूँ, कुछ कर रही हूँ, या स्क्रॉल करते हैं हम इंस्टाग्राम पे, हम कितना टाइम लगा देते हैं, लेकिन just get a paper, draw straight lines, draw straight lines, draw circles. थोड़ा हाथ खुलेगा. and do this practice every day starting today. एग्जाम टाइम तक काफी टाइम है, तुम्हारा हाथ काफी खुल जाएगा उससे, ठीक है. ये कुछ 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 चीजें हैं. रेस्ट और एवरीथिंग आई थिंक यू कैन सी ऑन द इंटरनेट. एंड you can learn from there. Anything else? Yes, Tushar.
So
Very good point, Tushar. Thank you guys are just asking like brilliant questions. I'm absolutely loving this. कभी भी ये question solve होता है ना, it has a steps. Step one, ideate. Step two, flana dhimkana. Step three, rough sketch. Step four, final sketch. Okay, it has all the steps. Our aim when we are preparing is to decrease the amount of time it will take to do each step in the exam hall. So sketching ka I've already told you, so that you don't waste your time doing tuck 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 there. This is the way to do it. Rough first and उसके ऊपर तुम पक्का line लगाओ, ठीक है? Now what Tushar is saying कि how do we reduce that time? It takes a lot of time. So how do I reduce that time? Is that correct, Tushar? Okay, thanks for the heads up. Um, this is one problem now, which does not have only one technique. Okay, one every question is different. So if you talk about say for example you spoke about the icon wala question, okay, then icons wale mein, first of all I feel there's nothing to ideate. It is all about it's a very skill based sort of a question. You can learn this. There are some questions which you cannot learn. For example, the problem solving, problem identification, these things you cannot 100% learn and go and do it. How many of you know about the noun project? The noun. Ha. So you guys are on YouTube, right? You're looking at my YouTube also at Meet. Okay, so let's see the noun project. I really like this website. When I was working as a graphic designer in a branding institute after my NIFT, we used to get free icons from this website. Okay, not only this website, you can always go explore other website, but this is I think the easy one for new starters. तो एक वो क्वेश्चन आया था ना ट्यूलिप बनाने का. See how many ways they've iconified the tulip. There's so many ways, right? There's so many ways to uh, make an icon out of this tulip. This is one way, this is one way, this is one way, this is one way. These are so many ways. Now, maybe if I enter this way, I like this way, or maybe this way. Um, I can go to more from this collection, and I can see how Ali, although these are uploaded by normal people only, okay, they're allowed to make mistakes. But how Ali thinks that maybe this kind of a leaf can be made in the same style as this. So if they've asked me to draw five things in the same style, as a part of preparation, I can come to this website and just observe. So okay, अगर इस वाले में this is what Ali is doing, this is how he's creating it, this thing. So maybe he thinks that okay, we can do it like this for this one, and these two styles look very similar. These three actually look very similar. ये तो मुझे बहुत अलग ही लग रहे हैं. Again, this is done by a normal person, and they are not writing the seed exam, so we are allowed to go explore other tulips as well. This is one way to do the tulip. Okay, they have very nice curved edges and everything. So if I go to view more from this collection, I can literally sit and stare and observe how other things can be made in the same style. सो मे बी दिस स्टाइल वर्क्स, ये वाला थोड़ा मैच हो रहा है, तो अगर मुझे ऐसा ऐसा कुछ बनाना है तो मैं ऐसा बना सकती हूँ, ऐसा बना सकती हूँ, ठीक है। नॉट ओनली दिस, और क्या आया था बनाने के लिए, कैक्टस आया था ना, कैक्टस। There are so many ways they've done the cactus. There's this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Now, ये कर लिया तुमने, ठीक है, ये देख लिया, दिस इज ऑल्सो वन वे। देखो उन्होंने थॉर्न्स कैसे दिखाने की कोशिश की है, तो ऑल आई एम थिंग इज प्रिपरेशन के लिए, इन द नेम ऑफ प्रिपरेशन यू सिट एंड you decide that if I have to draw an icon, then what is the style which I am going to go with. देखो उन्होंने थॉर्न्स ऐसे बनाए हैं, who would have thought in their wildest dream कि थॉर्न्स ऐसे भी बना सकते हैं। सो ऐसे भी बनाए हैं, कुछ लोगों ने क्रॉस करके बनाए हैं, कुछ लोगों ने स्टार से बनाए हैं, कुछ लोगों ने डैश बनाया है, कुछ लोगों ने बाहर पॉइंट आउट किया है, बट ऑल लुक लाइक कैक्टस, राइट? Some people have done it in an inverted way, someone has done it in this way. Sit and study कि अगर थॉर्न आ गया बनाने को, तो मैं कैसे बना सकता हूँ या कैसे बना सकती हूँ। कुछ ऐसे बनाया है, कुछ ऐसे बनाया है, तो एज अ पार्ट ऑफ प्रिपरेशन व्हेन यू नो लाइक, ये सारा मेंटल लोड अगर तुम एग्जाम से पहले बैठ के ले, देन इट विल बी इजियर फॉर यू टू, मतलब वो बेसिकली तुम एग्जाम टाइम में वो थोड़ा ना टाइम कम करोगे। अब तुम बोलोगे ये तो सिर्फ 2020 का क्वेश्चन पेपर है, बट आई थिंक एक और उसके बाद आया था ना, वेयर यू हैड टू, आई थिंक लास्ट ईयर ओनली, वेयर दे हैड गिवन यू वो वुमेन हॉकी टीम के लिए कुछ लोगो बनाना था। सो दैट इज ऑल्सो लाइक अ लोगो ओनली, नो? तो when you know कि अच्छा I have explored that if I have to draw thorns, what that if what my pencil, sorry, my pencil discharged, I am charging it. um yeah, when, so abhi to maine sirf thorn ki baat ki hai, but if you sit and observe all the different kind of things that can be iconophied and how different people have done it, and then you decide that okay, you know what, this is going to be my style because I'm most comfortable with it. Anytime an icon like question comes, uh, how you're going to do it, वो थोड़ा तुम्हें डिसिसिवनेस तुम्हें वो ज्यादा आ जाएगी। धृति, you want to say something? Let me out the paper, उसमें लिखा होगा कि उसी में कुछ ना कुछ लिखा होगा। हाँ, create 2D graphic icons for each, sorry, create 2D graphic icons for each of the images given below. All icons should belong to the same design language and style. See, these are just images. They're giving you images and they're asking you to draw icons that should belong to the same design language and style. So, so yeah, it should be like icons. They're not asking you to replicate the image. They're asking you to create 5 icons inspired from 5 icons inspired from this. Mhm. Sorry, maybe, sorry. I'll just. Hello? अंकल जी, मैं मीटिंग में हूँ, मैं करती हूँ कॉल, मम्मी पहुंच गए हैं, ठीक है? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they मतलब इसमें they are clearly asking you to iconify it. Um, so then पता नहीं मतलब तुम लोग कैसे करते हो, लेकिन जैसे आइकन जब हम बनाते हैं तो पीछे पीछे ग्रिड रख लेते हैं, देन वी डिसाइड कि अच्छा इस स्पेस के अंदर ये बनाएंगे, इस स्पेस में बनाएंगे, इतना हम गैप छोड़ेंगे साइड में, जो भी होता है, मतलब नाउ एज अ पार्ट ऑफ प्रिपरेशन यू गो एंड लर्न हाउ आइकन्स आर मेड। ओके, कुछ लोगों को मैंने देखा है ऐसे बना के रफ से ऐसे बना के आ जाते हैं, लो जी बना दिया। ऐसे नहीं होता है, टेक्नीक होती है, उसको थोड़ा नेट पे देखो कैसे होती है। So make sure that if you're doing this here, then every icon has. Although ये मेरे टाइम का पेपर है, मैंने इतना अच्छा नहीं किया था। मैंने भी ट्यूलिप को नीचे घुसा दिया था ऐसे करके। लेकिन read the paper. Also, this time thing that I spoke about, na, this much time for this much for rough and this. Uh, Keep one slot for reading the paper also. That I'm going to use 2 minutes to read the paper. And when you're practicing also, uh, read the paper so well that you are, it becomes your habit to read the paper well. You have to make these things your habit so that exam may, just say reading paper, the time decreases to comprehend. It should become like, I don't know how many of you drive or how many of you swim, but the more you practice, the more fluent you get at it. So do that. Uh, Prashasti. देखो, this is again an answer to Tushar's, but like it's in continuation with what I was telling Tushar also. एक तो ऑब्वियसली स्किल बेस्ड प्रिपरेशन होती है ना, टू रिड्यूस दैट टाइम। एक होती है आइडिएशन वाली प्रिपरेशन। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट आइडिएशन वाली प्रिपरेशन अ लिटिल बिट। यू नो दैट ओके, अभी जैसे you guys have done the question papers, you know these kind of questions are asked, ठीक है? तो वो मेले वाला जैसे you're telling me, uh, you can also in the name of preparation try to develop a personality. Actually you have a personality, an awesome one, but add to it. uh, अभी you're asking me उसको कैसे attempt करना है। मैं ये नहीं बता सकती कि ऐसे बनाना था वो। There are 15 ways to do it. There are 150 ways to do it. There may be a 1,500 ways to do it. Uh, but what is important in questions like these is your process. Tushar, you want to say something now? Yeah, I don't know how other people do it, but for me, like I was saying in the initial, I think you came a little late, Tushar, but initially I was saying that uh, part of preparation is also just going out and observing people. So, Sangvi, do you want to say something? Hmm. Uh-huh. Okay, okay, got it. These are two different questions. I've made an entire video on this question also. But उसके बारे में मैं बात करती हूँ, सांगवी। let me just address this question first, okay? And I think, okay, Sangvi is asking about these questions, how to solve them, and Tushar is asking about how do we prepare for, like, how much ideation is enough ideation. Basically, that is what is Tushar is saying, and like when they're asking you to design for a particular persona, if I may put it that way, Tushar, then how do we empathize with them? Is that correct? So Tushar is saying that he knows the mechanical way of doing it, basically doing the user interviews, doing surveys to get to know a persona. He knows the technical way to do it, but he's saying that how do we naturally do it? Because in the exam we don't have that we can't do user interviews. That's correct, right? That's what you're saying, Tushar. Got it. So Tushar, I don't think there is a shortcut to that. Okay, where do you live? Ooh, that's why. But you must have gone to so Tushar lives in Delhi. And that's why it's like, well, how do I empathize with these people, rural people? I've never gone to a Mela. Have you gone to the Shera Mela in Pragati? Uh, so you know Mela. It's not like you're alien to the concept of Mela. Like, I was able to go to this time since I'm also in. Um, you've never been to a rural India Mela, right? You have been to. Uh, do you recall what it was like? What were people doing? What were they interested in? What were they? So it's been a long time. Okay. Um, I think that's what they're. So see, these kind of questions. No, Abhi, just you said, ki, how do we empathize with rural people? I went to a Mela 6 years ago. Uh, Now, if you look at a lot of these previous year question papers collectively, you will see a pattern, and the pattern is that every time they give you a question, and they want you to know about certain persona. Sometimes they want you to know about senior citizens. Sometimes they want to know about blind people or people with a certain kind of disease or children or rural India. These are some very popular top spicy hits in all the seed exams. Okay. Abhi, maybe you're not preparing to that level, but there's another thing I keep saying is to go to IDC website, look at all the projects that are happening, look, identify which subjects you like based on, looking at the profiles of professors, which one do you like the most, what are they doing. If you look at those projects, you will see the same themes there as well. Okay, if you want to be if the institute takes you, they want to make sure that you are in sync with these ideas, you know about these things, you empathize with these problems. It's not like you're just alienated, like I don't care about these things, and you will get the admission. Aisa nahi hai. And that is why they ask you questions based on these things in part B. And now you're asking me, how do you empathize with that better? Stay curious, number one. Seek answers. So don't seek answers from me, but seek answers from, maybe spend some more time with kids. If you don't have kids around, watch some videos, look at some, like, just stay curious. Have you seen, I don't know how many of you have subscription to Netflix, but there's a very cool documentary on babies, and then they talk about like how babies are super smart. So I'm not saying go watch that documentary, but all I'm saying is that now that you've identified these are some hot topics for the exam, it becomes very easy for you to focus your attention on certain things. So next time you go to the mela, I don't think there is any other mela, but don't go to a mela, but अभी जैसे ट्रेड फेयर चल रहा था है ना, I would have just gone there and observed people. Um, Another example I want to give you, it's a little off track, but there is a question about railway stations. I don't know. I have discussed this with someone in my 101. I don't remember. Yeah. Problem identification. That railway station wala, where there's a lot of crowd and everything, and then someone had given me a solution that you can put signages. You can put big signages because people are not able to see which train is this, like that. Because it's very small. There's a jaake dekhna padta hai middle mein, and you don't know 0 to 75 kahan se start ho raha hai, 75 to 0 kahan se start ho raha hai. You're not able to see those sort of things. So I gave her an idea. We were just brainstorming together, and I said that, I have observed in a railway station that people generally follow other people. So if they want to, if just in Delhi, Tushar, when you take a metro, you step out, do you look for signages ki stairs kahan pe hai, or do you just see where people are going? And then you just, है ना? है ना? Which is funny, right? Like, especially राजीव चौक में इतनी भीड़ में भीड़ कहाँ जा रही है? चलो, yeah, exactly. You can't see, and you don't want to hear because there's so much rush. And in India, there is always rush. Today, I was seeing a post on Instagram about migrations. Migrations, नहीं, sorry, about जैसे इंडिया में जब वापस आते हैं ना, इमिग्रेशन वाले लाइन होती है, इंडिया की लाइन सबसे बड़ी होती है हमेशा. So, yeah, that's us. That's us. So it's about observing and thinking about it. And randomly, you have like a million things you can think about. But correct. Hmm. Correct. Correct. So I'll talk. You know what? I'll take you through one of the problem identification problem with me today. Okay, and I think we can we will just take questions after that. So this is like the last thing I will do here. What Tushar is saying is that basically you want help in streamlining your thoughts. कि observe तो कर लिया, but now how do I use that observation in the question paper? How do you? Yeah, I'll talk about that also. In UX, no, user experience design, we have this rule called 80-20 rule. You know what that rule means? It means that design 20% of the things, or uh, design for 20% of the problems which work for 80% of the people. You're always going to leave 20% of the people. They're always going to be, even today. See, this thing works everywhere. See, I am doing this workshop today. Okay. um I am getting registration. I got around 16 registrations. There are around 11 people here. I think someone left. Oh, okay. So there are 10 people here. I've seen your papers, but I don't know what to talk about, right? I don't know. Matlab, should I choose this topic or that topic? How do I know what works for everyone? I'm sure many of the things that I've said today were not relevant to a couple of you. But then I have to decide what is relevant to most of the people. Now you'll ask me, वो कैसे पता चलता है? Let's go through a problem identification problem together, shall we? Or do you want to add anything before that? a lot of these. So Sangi is asking how to prioritize the severity of problems that are being identified. Okay, so you can identify 15 problems, but how do I know that okay, these are the 10 problems I have to choose and write in the exam? Okay, see, uh, I don't know, it might sound very philosophical, but I think everything for me personally has arrived from observation. um, the more time you spend to observe things, the more nuances you're going to find in people's behaviors. For example, in my yesterday I was live on my Instagram, and then I was talking about this problem where they asked us to design the cutlery for kids. Okay, um, someone who has not observed kids is just going to focus on the form of the glassware, going to make it very fancy. Have you guys, or do you guys know about design of everyday things? है ना? The book starts by giving you examples of three teacups, sorry, teapots, and they say that okay, this one teapot I really like, but it is so dysfunctional that I can't use it, but it's so beautiful that I keep it, something like that. But there's one very like basic looking, अब जैसे हमारे घर पर भी होता है, स्टील की थालियां होती हैं, स्टील की थालियां में हमें मतलब it's the easiest to eat on, but they are not beautiful. But then you have ceramic ones, but they are so easy, they're so difficult to handle because वो टूट जाती हैं धोते धोते. So but they are the pretty ones, right? So every object has like its form and its function and all these things. First of all, you need to be aware about these things कि ऐसी categorizations होती हैं. बहुत बार क्या होता है ना, our thoughts are clouded. So what Tushar is saying is that his thoughts are clouded. ऐसा नहीं, he doesn't have thoughts. First of all, he has thoughts. Congratulations, that's a good thing. But they are clouded. Everything is there. Now you need to make sense out of it, right? So how do you make sense out of it? First of all, you need to be aware about these things. जैसे कि क्या चल रहा है, and how do you do it? By reading or by watching YouTube videos or like looking at some designer's work. A lot of times you will see some branding exercise, जैसे not branding exercise, जैसे अभी आईपीएल चल रहा था, राइट? तो उसकी जो ब्रांडिंग हुई है, ऑल ऑफ दैट, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ब्रांडिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, लेकिन यू कैन डू द सेम फॉर प्रोडक्ट also. So it's a good practice to go on the internet, read a little bit about about what processes the designers use to achieve that kind of design. So read a little bit about it. That is one. Okay, definitely. The second thing is, once you do that you will realize, अब जैसे ये डिजाइन ऑफ एवरीडे थिंग्स का तुमने अगर बुक पढ़ा होगा या फिर तुम्हें इसके कॉन्सेप्ट पता होगे. अच्छा, बाय द वे, बहुत लोग बोलते हैं दैट उन्होंने डिजाइन ऑफ एवरीडे थिंग्स पढ़ी है, बट पढ़ी किसी ने भी नहीं है. मैंने भी पूरी नहीं पढ़ी है. देयर आर यूट्यूब videos available, audio, YouTube audio is available. You can also just listen to it while you're doing your sketches or while you're practicing hand sketches. Okay, so consume stuff like that. Also listen to प्रोफेसर्स टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टफ, उनके यूट्यूब वीडियोस हैं. आईडीसी वेबसाइट पे जाके सारे प्रोफेसर्स का नाम देखो, उसके बाद यूट्यूब पे उनको गूगल करो, उनके पॉडकास्ट मिलेंगे, उनके लेक्चर्स मिलेंगे. पुट ऑन योर ईयरफोन्स, लिसन टू दैट, practice sketching 1 hour every day. Easy? Good. So yeah, if you know about these concepts, you will realize that okay, there is a form and there is a function. Now you will be able to focus on that. I think Dhriti just mentioned कि she has focused exactly only on form, है ना? And you will do that if you're not aware of that what are the different ways you can design this. So when they're asking you to focus on form, but they've given you an object and they said okay, इसके form पे based बनाओ, but they've also given you a persona कि kids के लिए बनाओ. That means they want you to uh, design it for uh, form and function. तो अब धृति ने फॉर्म के लिए तो बना दिया, लेकिन शी हैजंट कंसिडर्ड द फंक्शन. एंड ये फंक्शन के लिए जो फोकस करना होता है ना, दिस आई विल डू राइट नाउ विथ यू. Whenever you get a question like this, for everyone in the live, I see the crowd has gone down now, but this is important stuff. You guys should be here. Anyway, जब भी तुम्हें कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन आए, प्लेटफॉर्म में कुछ हो रहा है, तुम ना मेंटली यू हैव टू बी देयर. Mentally, you have to be there. Okay. So imagine there is a child. One thing I do, and you don't have to do it, but just imagine this is my answer sheet now. So I'll use some space to just, okay, this is my persona. Like her name is Janvi or something. She's 6 years old. Now, one question I always ask is ki, why is there a need, first of all? The need, why is there a need to create a separate cutlery? How do you spell cutlery? For kids. जरूरत क्या है वो हमारे नॉर्मल बर्तन में क्यों नहीं खा पाते लाइक दैट व्हेन यू गेट अ क्वेश्चन की सीनियर सिटीजन्स के लिए कैप ओपनर बनाओ सो व्हाई इज देयर अ नीड to uh, to have a different cutlery set for senior citizens. Sorry, not cutlery set. To have a separate क्या बनाने को दिया था कैप ओपनर क्यों उनके हाथ नहीं काम करते क्या लाइक दैट तुषार व्हाई इज देयर अ नीड to have separate icon sets for rural Mela? Do you have answers to these questions? Tushar, tell me. Okay. Okay. Let's write it here. Size, attractive, or hmm. Okay. What else? But no, Tushar, just tell me about the icon wala. Why? Hmm. Yeah. Anyone wants to talk about this one? Why is there a need to do a separate cap opener or what else? Grip is gone. What else? Anyone else? For what else? What else? For any other also. Okay. Perfect. What do you mean readability? Okay. Perfect. So you see what we did here. Yeah, obviously. But we also मतलब जनरली ना हम मेंटली ये पार्ट स्किप कर देते हैं। हम क्या करते हैं सीधा ड्रॉ करना शुरू कर देते हैं। हम फॉर्म देख के ड्रॉ करना शुरू कर देते हैं। लेकिन दिस क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग यू टू फोकस ऑन फॉर्म एंड फंक्शन, राइट? इवन इन प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन दिस विल हैपन। तो क्या होता है कि whenever they're asking you to do something for certain persona, identify the persona, do a little sketch or something, whatever, and write down why are they even asking us to do that. Based on that you will be able to ideate कि अब मुझे इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना है। अब जैसे मुझे वैसे आई डोंट अग्री दैट दे हैव अ डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ इंटेलेक्ट, दे आर एक्चुअली प्रिटी स्मार्ट, इट्स जस्ट दैट देयर द सोसाइटी इज वेरी डिफरेंट। Ever since I've started living in Delhi, I've realized how the urban setup is super different. Actually, I knew, but like when my parents visit me, they're always insisting to do things in a certain way. And then it took me a good 2 years of struggle to realize that, I can't continue doing जैसे मैं जब हिमाचल में रहती थी, जो मेरा वहाँ पे लाइफस्टाइल होता था, जो मेरी चीज़ें वहाँ पे मैं करती थी, I can't continue doing the same here. I have to adapt to the urban setup. I have to adapt to a different kind of lifestyle. I noticed those different things. कि वो क्या है, and I then only when I did that I was able to accept it. So that way rural setup, the society, the community, the interdependence on each other, the problems are very different. In city, you don't have to necessarily talk to your neighbor, but in rural India community is everything, right? So only when you understand those things you will be able to come with better answers to why is it even important to do separate setup for rural India. I really liked this one idea, one objects they haven't seen. Okay, so it's not their fault they haven't seen it, or maybe not objects also, but this is, I'll give you an example. Everyone has a PC, right? So you have folders. I don't know how many of you know about bug smashing sessions होते हैं ना? Bug smashing क्या होता है? Anyone here UX engineer coding में होता है ना? What is it called? Uh, Bug smash, debugging, debugging. What else? What is it called? Yeah, please say it. हाँ, मतलब होता है ना वो जब डेवलपर्स करते हैं, बग स्मैश बोलते हैं क्या उसको? मैं तुम्हें एक वो देती हूँ, यू नो दिस डिजाइनर हू डिजाइन्ड द एप्पल आइकन्स, और इवन इफ यू लुक एट माइक्रोसॉफ्ट आइकन्स, ओके, तो उसमें जैसे तो फोल्डर होता है ना, फोल्डर, इट लुक्स लाइक एन एक्चुअल फोल्डर। सो व्हेन दे वर डिजाइनिंग दीज थिंग्स, और जस्ट लुक एट माय स्क्रीन, जैसे यहाँ पे ब्रश है, फिंगर है, व्हाट डज दिस फिंगर डू? आई थिंक ये स्मज करता है चीजों को, हाँ, ये चीजों को स्मज करता है। एंड एनी ऑफ यू हु आर इन ड्राइंग दे नो कि ऐसा एक्चुअल में एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट आता है, स्मजर, जो ऐसा दिखता है, ऐसा नहीं दिखता है वो, लेकिन मतलब तुम अपनी फिंगर से भी कई बार होते हैं, लोग करते हैं फिंगर में क्लॉथ लगा के कुछ करके दिस मच थिंग्स, एंड एन इरेजर इट लुक्स लाइक दिस। सेटिंग्स हैं, तो सेटिंग्स जनरली मैकेनिकल वर्ल्ड में, मतलब ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज कि ये जो हमने डिजिटल इलस्ट्रेशंस अभी हम देख रहे हैं ना, दे आर नॉट कमिंग फ्रॉम हवा। दीज स्पेशली अगर तुम माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के आइकन्स देखो, या फिर अगर तुम जो एप्पल के जो आइकन्स हैं, जो उनके सिस्टम, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, जैसे कि उन्होंने जो फोल्डर के लिए बनाया है, या फिर जो भी उन्होंने छोटे 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 आइकन्स बनाए हैं, दे हैव टेकन इंस्पिरेशन फ्रॉम द रियल वर्ल्ड। ठीक है, when you study all that, when you see how those icons were made, you will realize, uh, you will actually stop idealizing that. I'm sure most of you don't do it, but if anyone does, You'll stop thinking this is the way to do it, and you will understand how you can create such languages or such designs from basically any culture. Okay, so as a part of prep, आई विल से उन चीज़ों को भी देखो, थोड़ा सा उससे ना तुम्हारा माइंडसेट शिफ्ट होगा. And then obviously it is important to understand the rural setup also. And this exam is basically trying to test that. How do you do it? I don't know. Like अगर तुम गांव में नहीं जा सकते, then you can watch some movies and you can read news, um, but do it with a purpose to learn. डोंट डू इट, मतलब ऑलवेज आस्क क्वेश्चंस, व्हाई ये क्यों हो रहा है यहाँ पे. यू हैव टू स्टे क्यूरियस, लाइक दैट वाज माय नंबर वन पॉइंट. सो you might, जैसे if someone has said that they might not have seen some objects, ऑब्जेक्ट्स नहीं देखे हैं का मतलब है कि जैसे अगर वो कैंसर का रिबन है ना, किसने बोला था कैंसर का रिबन साइन है? डू यू नो व्हाई इट्स अ रिबन? हाँ, तो फाइंड दैट आउट. Okay, find that out, because I'm sure it's coming from some significance. उस ribbon का कोई significance होगा, उस color का कोई significance होगा, and then see how that is relevant to that society. And now try to understand अपनी rural society and see what is the relevant thing for them. Is it making sense to you guys? बताओ. बताओ. बस यही तो मैं कह रही हूँ. हम्म. Uh, See, there is always a factor of learnability. Na, people learn. ऐसा नहीं है कि people will not learn. People will learn, but as a designer, your job is to put that thought into your designs first. Only when there is thought into it, people will pick it up. वैसे तो लोग काफी थॉटलेस चीजें भी उठा लेते हैं. अब जैसे मैंने तुम्हें बोला कि वो पिंक क्यों है रिबन, तो तुमने बोला पता नहीं. अगर तुम्हें नहीं पता होता कि पिंक रिबन इज कैंसर का सिंबल, तो देन यू, इज इट पिंक? आई वंडर इफ इट इज पिंक. इट्स फॉर ब्रेस्ट कैंसर. ओके, then you wouldn't know कि ये कैंसर का सिंबल है, राइट? सो आई थिंक दिस क्वेश्चन इज जस्ट आस्किंग यू टू डिजाइन समथिंग विच इज इमीडिएटली रिकग्नाइजेबल, कि उसको देख के लोग बोलते हैं कि हाँ. तो अभी जैसे किसी ने बोला कि वो किसी ने क्रैब बनाया था, तो मैं जब उसको देखूंगी तो मुझे तो पहले तो कर्क राशि दिमाग में आएगी, बट हो सकता है विद टाइम आई ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड मे बी उस क्रैब के साथ यू कैन डू समथिंग जिससे पता चले कि दिस इज टॉकिंग अबाउट कैंसर. आई डोंट नो, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग कि जो इवेंचुअल आंसर आएगा ना, दैट कैन बी एनीथिंग. वो तुम्हारे अपने थॉट प्रोसेस के ऊपर है. बट ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज कि इनकलकेट अ थॉट प्रोसेस एटलीस्ट इन योर आंसर्स. um, IPL icons. Yeah, that is true. But I'm saying that at least they tried. Actually, they did not try. ये crab वाला तो उसमें भी है ना, उसमें भी. So, I mean, think about it. But at least now you know. एक मिनट मेरे को ना IPL नहीं, अभी वर्ल्ड कप हुआ है ना. वर्ल्ड कप आइकन्स. वर्ल्ड कप इंडिया आइकन्स. हाँ, ये देखो. ये अभी वर्ल्ड कप के लिए उन्होंने नवरसा के बेसिस पे ये आइकन्स बनाए हैं. डू यू गाइस नो अबाउट इट? या आई वाज एनीवे वेरी fascinated with the branding कि भाई इन्होंने कितना सही किया है. इसको इसको स्टडी करो ना, ये तो अभी रिसेंटली हुआ है. ये क्यों है लोगो ऐसा, क्या है इस लोगो का मतलब, इन आइकन्स का क्या मतलब है, व्हाई इज इट इवन हियर. एंड व्हाट आई नो इज कि ये इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट के बेसिस पर है. सो सी हाउ दे हैव ट्राइड टू ट्रांसलेट इट. यू नो, India में ना, we don't need designers who are going to just follow whatever has already been done by the West. We need designers who are going to bring our our culture and our heritage ऊपर. And that's what ये वर्ल्ड कप वाली ब्रांडिंग में हुआ है. So take see some examples like that. Find more examples like that. And see उन्होंने कैसे किया है. Anything? Anyone has any question? Awesome, Janvi. हाँ. Mm. Uh, wow. See, I think whatever I've told you so far is basically how to inculcate a design process and how to give a different perspective. मतलब how to look at the questions from a different point of view, right? Eventually तुम उसका आंसर कैसे निकालोगे वो तो सच में मतलब अगर वो भी मैं बता दूंगी then it will lose the individuality of each of you. Maybe मैं कुछ बताऊं जो तुम्हें उससे ज्यादा आता है. तो जहाँ तक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग की बात है, मैं कोई भी एक एग्जांपल उठा लेती हूँ. कौन-सा क्वेश्चन उठाऊँ? तो देखो, स्टेप 1 है यू नीड टू नो उनको प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है. तो जैसे ये लिखा ना मैंने, ये लिखा उनका हैंड्स आर शेकी, ग्रिप इज गॉन. ठीक है, बट व्हाई? व्हाई आर देयर हैंड्स शेकिंग? हाउ मेनी सीनियर सिटीजंस डू यू नो? हर हैंड्स आर शेकी. आस्क हर व्हाई. आस्क हर नाइसली. बोलेंगे ऐसे जोड़ों में दर्द हो गई है, यहाँ दर्द हो जाती है यहाँ. ऐसे ऐसे करेंगे वो. या हो सकता है कुछ और भी कर सकें. हो सकता है वो कुछ और भी बता दें. बिकॉज़ चल तो लेते हैं अच्छे. अब सीनियर सिटीज़न्स बाय द वे 60 इयर्स से ज़्यादा होते हैं. माय फादर इज़ गोइंग टू बी 60 इयर्स बट वो अभी भी तंदुरुस्त है, हट्टे-कट्टे. पूरी उन्होंने हमारे घर की शिफ्टिंग करवाई है. ठीक है? तो सीनियर सिटीज़न्स आर नॉट ओनली पीपल जो एकदम बूढ़े हो गए हैं. पहली बात तो ये पता होनी चाहिए. Uh, but still, people who start getting into 50 or 55, they start getting arthritis. उनके यहाँ पर जोड़ों में कुछ लिक्विड भरने लग जाता है आई थिंक, जिसकी वजह से उन जब ऐसे करते हैं ना उनके हाथ मुड़ना शुरू हो जाते हैं. लेडीज में कैल्शियम की कमी होना शुरू हो जाती है, तो उनके बोन्स इतने स्ट्रांग नहीं रहते हैं. लेकिन दैट्स नॉट रेलेवेंट विद दिस क्वेश्चन. इसमें क्या होता है, मतलब जब तुम्हें ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन आए, यू थिंक अबाउट व्हाट आर वी ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व. ओके, पहले तो ये हम सोचो कि ऑलवेज आस्क, जब भी होना इसको तो तुम लिख लो कि नीड, व्हाट इज द नीड टू क्रिएट अ सेपरेट डैश डैश फॉर दिस यूजर पर्सोना. ऑलवेज आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन एंड देन थोड़ा सा जितना तुम्हें समझ आ रहा है उसको लिख लो कहीं पे. एंड देन अगर तुम्हें प्रैक्टिस टू ऑर्गेनाइज दिस, कभी तुम आंसर शीट पे भी अगर तुम उसको जैसे एनआईडी के पेपर्स में स्पेशली अगर तुम कर पाओ तो इट बी रियली नाइस. सो या एंड देन सी कि अच्छा व्हाट इज कैप ओपनर क्या होता है. वो उन्होंने बोला था वो चूड़ीदार कैप ओपनर है ना, रिंग्स वाला जो ऐसे खुलता है. तो ये खोलने में, सो व्हाट इज द एक्ट ऑफ ओपनिंग, ये करना है बेसिकली हमें. ये तो ये नहीं हो रहा है. ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? क्योंकि उनके यहाँ पे दर्द हो गया, उनसे जोर नहीं पड़ रहा है क्योंकि उनके जोड़ों में दर्द है. सो वी नीड टू डिजाइन समथिंग विच कैन डू दिस एक्ट फॉर देम effortlessly, where they don't have to do this. Something else can do it, where they can just do, maybe press a button, do, I don't know, like you have a house help, basically we need to replace her. Yeah, with that. Okay, but you need to get into the core of the problem. Now I know about arthritis because my mom has arthritis. My mother-in-law has arthritis. तो मम्मी जैसे आटा गूंथती हैं तो उनसे उनको दर्द हो जाती है, उनसे गूंथता नहीं है आटा। तो क्यों वो ऐसे आ जाती हैं कि ये मेरे हाथ मुड़ जाते हैं। कई बार वो ऐसे करते कि किचन में शी विल स्टैंड लाइक दिस एंड हैव टू क्या हुआ? मेरे हाथ मुड़ रहे हैं, हटो मैं करती हूँ। Right? All they're asking you is to be designed for that situation, and design starts with empathy. Design starts with curiosity. So यहाँ पे तुमको पहले तो वो समझना है, ठीक है? Once you do that, then you think कि अच्छा, अब मेरे को ये ऐसी चीज बनानी है जो ये चीज कर सके। Now you ideate कि क्या क्या हो सकता है। Now you do your rough sketches. ये मेरी कैप है, तो मे बी आई कैन हैव समथिंग जो जैसे कि वो होता है ना, क्या बोलते हैं इसको, बट नॉट एग्जैक्टली लाइक दिस, समथिंग विच कैन ओपन ऑल्सो एंड देन, हाँ, देन इफ आई क्लोज इट इट विल ओपन, बट फिर उनका यहाँ पे जोर लगेगा इस हाथ में। आइडिएट, देन यू आइडिएट कि अच्छा मे बी दिस कैन बी डन, दिस कैन बी डन, दिस कैन बी डन, दिस कैन बी डन, और मे बी समथिंग फ्रॉम द टॉप। मे बी इसमें हम कुछ पुली सिस्टम लगा सकते हैं, आई डोंट नो, थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा। अब इतने पे तुम एक बार पहुंच जाओ, देन यू हैव टू आइडिएट, देन यू ड्रॉ समथिंग एंड देन यू पुट इट। इट्स नॉट अबाउट तुमने बेस्ट आंसर दिया कि नहीं, तुमने बेस्ट सोल्यूशन दिया या नहीं, इट्स अबाउट क्या तुमने बेस्ट प्रॉब्लम को रिकग्नाइज करके उसको एड्रेस करने की कोशिश की है या नहीं। अब मैं हूं तो मैंने अर्थराइटिस की बात की है बिकॉज आई नो अर्थराइटिस, बट मे बी यू विल व्हेन यू टॉक टू योर ग्रैंड मॉम प्रशस्ति, और मे बी टॉक टू योर मॉम ऑल्सो, हाउ ओल्ड इज शी in her 50s, talk to her, she's approaching the senior citizen thing, ठीक है? तो उनसे पूछो, मे बी यू विल गेन सम अदर पर्सपेक्टिव ऑल्सो। So based on that perspective, you will design something different, and that is going to be no less than what I am designing. So that way, all of you try to gain your own perspectives. And this thing is not only true for this thing is also true for this, uh, for these questions. तो वही मैं कह रही हूँ कि ये जो पर्सपेक्टिव्स होते हैं ना, अब मैं तुम्हें बोल रही थी ना टाइम कैसे कम करना है आइडिएशन के, ये तुषार का पहला क्वेश्चन था। आइडिएशन का टाइम ऐसे कम करना है, पहले तो तुम एम्पथाइज करो ये सारे प्रोफाइल्स के लिए, ठीक है? इनके प्रॉब्लम समझो, इनको अच्छे से समझो, देखो कि इन्होंने ऑलरेडी अपनी लाइफ को बेटर बनाने के लिए जो सॉल्यूशंस लाए हैं लाइफ में, व्हाट आर दो सॉल्यूशंस एंड हाउ आर दे यूजिंग दो सॉल्यूशंस टू मेक देयर लाइफ बेटर, क्यों, कैसे, कब, बी क्यूरियस, डिग इट एंड ऑल। जब ये क्रिएटिविटी वाले क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, इसमें भी यू हैव टू डू मतलब अपनी पर्सनालिटी को डेवलप करो। सोच के आओ, पता है ऐसे क्वेश्चन आते हैं रैंडम से, कुछ भी सोच के जाओ पहले से कि यार दिस इज समथिंग आई वांट टू डू, मे बी दिस इज व्हाट आई थिंक विद द बेस्ट, आई एम वेरी पैशनेट अबाउट स्पोर्ट्स, तो इफ समथिंग लाइक दिस कम, यू नो व्हाट, मैं कुछ कुछ स्पोर्ट रिलेटेड बनाऊंगी, या फिर मैं कुछ कुछ इससे रिलेटेड बनाऊंगी, वहां पे जाके ऐसे ऐसे मतलब डोंट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम लुकिंग एट दिस कि इसमें क्या बन रहा है, स्टार्ट फ्रॉम थिंकिंग कि मैं किस टाइप का बनाना चाहती हूँ। जब हम कभी आसमान में देखते हैं, हमें जो देखना होता है ना हमें दिख जाता है, हमें भालू दिखना होता है, हमें बादलों में भालू भी दिख जाता है, हमें बादलों में सब कुछ दिख जाता है। मैं क्या करती थी, मैं बताती हूँ, दिस इज अ वेरी गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी, मैं अपने यूट्यूब वीडियोस पे नहीं कर पाती थी, लेकिन मैं ऐसे करती थी, ऐसे कुछ कुछ ऐसे मैंने लाइंस को ज्वाइन करना शुरू कर देना, ऐसे कुछ भी ऐसे 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 करती थी, और ऐसे ऐसे, और मैं सोच रही थी अच्छा क्या दिख रहा है मुझे मुझे क्या दिख रहा है, यहाँ क्या दिख रहा है मुझे, अब क्या दिख रहा है मुझे, एंड मैं सोच के जाती थी, जैसे मैंने सोचा था कि मुझे कुछ आर्ट कल्चर रिलेटेड करना है बिकॉज दैट्स माय पैशन। तो ओके मुझे ये ना क्या दिख रहा है मुझे यहाँ पे, आई डोंट नो जैसे मैंने डॉल बनाई थी या मैंने कुछ और बनाया था, काफी लोग यहाँ पे सीडी बनाकर आ गए थे, ग्रामोफोन बनाकर आ गए थे, सबका फेवरेट ग्रामोफोन बनाएंगे हम। ऐसे मत करो। ऑल्सो जब ये क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस कर रहे होते तो प्रिंट लेके किया करो, हाथ से मत बनाया करो, इट डजंट गिव यू दैट एक्यूरेसी, ओके? बट थोड़ा सा अपनी प्रिपरेशन के नाम पे ना ये सब करो, थोड़ा डिग इनटू इट प्रॉपर्ली, थोड़ा सा और अच्छे से। और बताओ। नहीं दे सकता है। लेकिन लेकिन जब से कि वो मिक्सर ग्राइंडेड वाला क्वेश्चन आया था, ठीक है? ऑल्दो दे आर ओनली आस्किंग यू टू रेप्लिकेट, अ, 2 चीज़ें थी उसमें भी, जितना मेरे को समझ आया, इफ आई वर यू, एक तो वो तुम्हें फॉर्म रेप्लिकेट करने, जस्ट आई बस थोड़ी देर में। तो वो तुम्हें, एक तो वो तुम्हें बोले ऊपर का फॉर्म रेप्लिकेट करो, जो हमने दिया है उसको रेप्लिकेट करो, ठीक है? बट यू आल्सो हैव एन अपॉर्च्युनिटी टू गिव सम कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ function in the mixer. So just to be unique, you can think of your favorite persona and you can try to think maybe one or two things that will make this mixer grinder easy to use for that persona. Isn't that brilliant? हाँ, तो डाल दो, मतलब छोटा सा कहीं डाल दो, बट रिमेंबर दे आर नॉट आस्किंग यू टू सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम हियर। ठीक है, बट वो ये ना, जैसे लोगों ने मिक्सर तो बना दिए, कोई ऐसे बना रहे हैं, कोई ऐसा वाला बना रहे हैं, कोई कैसा वाला बना रहे हैं। ठीक है, बट हाउ कैन यू बी यूनिक? दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, दिस एक्सरसाइज इज नॉट ओनली इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर places where they've specifically asked you to do a solution. It's also equally important everywhere else. Everywhere else. You have to basically develop that perspective. Is that helpful? We have been talking for, oh my God, 3.5 hours. Awesome. No problem. I hope this was helpful for everyone else as well. If there are any questions, let me know. And guys, here someone is asking me, will I do daily classes? No, this is once in an year kind of a class. And then someone is asking, uh, if I do premium courses for it. If yes, then what is the price? I don't do premium courses, but I do one-on-ones on my Talkmates. If you want some dedicated time just for yourself, then you can book my session on Talkmate. And yeah, guys, it was really nice talking to you. And I hope this was helpful. Shall we close this? It's been 3.5 hours. इससे कम टाइम तुम्हें पेपर करने में लगेगा. So इतना टाइम यहाँ लगाया है. I would insist इतना टाइम अब तुम बाकी पेपर्स को सॉल्व करने में भी लगाओ. ठीक है? Okay, if I may, हाँ, बोलो धृति. बोलो धृति. Good, perfect. Let me know if you need any more assistance anywhere else. कहीं पे कुछ समझ ना आए, उसको करो, ठीक है? ऑल्सो जस्ट फोकस ऑन योर ओन प्रिपरेशन. जितने भी मेरे वन वंस हुए हैं, मेरे को एक चीज बड़ी कॉमन प्रॉब्लम लगी है सबके बीच में, कि they get intimidated. They are part of some WhatsApp group, or they are just, talking to uh, people who are also preparing. I mean, how can you? I don't understand. Like, you shouldn't be talking to people or showing your answers to people and taking feedback from people who are also preparing. Take feedback from people who cleared the exams or are in the college. Um, that way, you will get some useful critique. अगर तुम बगल वाले की ड्राइंग देख के इंटिमिडेट हो जाओगे, then that is just going to like demotivate you. And most of the times, even the bagal wala person with amazing drawing would also not know what is the right way to go forward. So talk to people who've cleared the exams. And also, guys, whoever has attended the session, I will mail you. It will be awesome if you can leave a feedback of how the session was for me. It will help me, do these sessions in a better way in future. Can you do that? Thank you. I've never asked people to leave a feedback, but today I am asking because this is my first. Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm going to take your leave. All the best for your exam. And I'm always there. Let me. Yes. Huh. Yeah, yeah. I'll do it on my Instagram. Are you on my Instagram? I'll do it on my Instagram. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Wait. I'll take a picture with you all. I want a picture. This is my first webinar. I was so nervous. Do you guys mind turning on your videos just to be in the picture? I I'm getting scolded by my mom now. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for coming here. And thank you being super sports. And where can we connect with you? I will leave that here. And yeah, perfect then. No problem. Bye. Uh, okay, perfect. Everyone's gone. I'm going to also leave. Uh, I don't think this is the correct one, guys. I'm going to delete this. I think it's topmate.io. Topmate.io at the rate. So if you want a one-on-one session, you can always. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to end this live stream. I hope this was helpful for people who are here as well. And I'm going to see you later. Let me know if you have any individual doubts. You can always contact me here. And yeah, bye.